Greetings, everyone. Hope all of you are having an absolutely fantastic day. It's great to see all of you. Let's see, lights are right, cameras on. Excellent, excellent. What's good, everybody? Today's stream, as I mentioned before, is going to be a tad bit different, but hopefully it's still an awesome time and we have a lot of fun. Ty, what's up, dude? Yeah, I saw some of the back and forth in regards to Wolverine. Honestly, I don't agree. Like, one, I know a lot of people don't like his face, but I was a huge fan of Spartacus when it was out. And the guy who he's based on is the one who played Spartacus for the first two seasons. I'm a fan of his acting. I'm a fan of what he does. So it doesn't bother me him being based on him at all. And I think the game just looks really cool all the way around. So maybe it'll turn out that's not the case. But for right now, my own feelings haven't been dampened, but we'll see. What's up, Matt? How are you, man? Appreciate you signing back up with me over on Twitch. What's up, Shaggy? What's up, Lennon? Agent, Quintek, Niska? Good to see all of you. What's up, Saint? What's good, Pred? Yeah, Saint, I've been looking forward to it as well, man. What's up, Mega? Jovi? Rigga? What's going on? How's everybody? Redbeard, what's up, man? How are you, dude? Yeah, only a couple of days until Zero Company, man. Very, very exciting indeed. I'm really looking forward to it. I'm actually going to see if I can get Thursday off of work. And we'll probably start with Zero Company right when it drops. That's what I'm hoping to do. We'll see. We'll see, because of course there's a lot of other stuff going on as well, and so I think it's going to be an exciting time for content creators for sure. With this coming out and Gamescom, looks like CDPR just announced we're going to get some Witcher related news at Gamescom as well. Really cool stuff. Really, really cool stuff. The regenerating spandex kind of irked you. Yeah, I think that's legitimate, Rigga. I think it's one of those things was probably kind of unavoidable because you don't want to put the player in a situation where they're just constantly walking around looking like they're beat up and on their last leg. But it also is just obviously kind of weird. So we'll see. We'll see how the full game shakes up. What's up, Immortal? How are you, dude? What's up, K-Man? Good to see you, man. Good to see you. Absolutely, Flint. Good to see you, man. What's up, King? How are you? What's up, Hex? I'm off Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Nice. See, you're doing it properly. You're doing it properly for sure, man. So in today's stream, I want to go ahead and do the work to ensure that I'll be ready to hit the ground running when Star Wars Zero Company comes out. So I'll probably end up taking some notes at some point, but I want to know what kind of character am I going to create, and then based on that character, what is going to be my A team and what is going to be my B team, and what are some characters I might potentially want to create that are not covered by the companions. And so who am I going to create when people, raise their hand and say, hey, you should make me in the game and I'll be part of your squad. And so hopefully at least some of those questions will be answered by going through these videos. I'm going to go through, I think around about 6 videos. Most of them, I believe, are from a content creator called Dantix, who makes really, really good stuff. And he's combed through a lot of the mechanics. And so I'm confident he's done a good job and should give us a lot of information that we need. What's up, Excelsior? How are you, dude? I actually have not bought the game yet. In fact, the very first video we're going to watch is which edition of Zero Company should you get, because I haven't purchased one. So I'll probably go ahead and buy it tomorrow. So much fun when fighting at your legs, like drag yourself through and fighting for everyone. This is true. It's true. What's up, Owen? How are you, man? Oh, you're all for a couple of weeks? Nice. Nice. Well, even if you're not getting Zero Company, you'll still have plenty to do. You're working through Wrath of the Righteous right now, right? I'm sure that'll take up plenty of time. What's up, Prestige? Just survived 2 days of power outages here in Memphis. Hey, I'm really sorry to hear that, man. But I'm glad it sounds like at least the power's back on. Rogue Trade and other games saved me since I can play a lot of Steam games offline. Thank God. Hey, that's awesome, dude. At least you have something to keep you company. That's cool. Already pre-ordered the deluxe edition because you're too nah, man. You knew what you wanted. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Ain't nothing wrong with that at all. All right, let's go ahead and get to looking through some of these videos. So the first one that we're gonna do is which edition of Star Wars Zero Company should we buy? It's actually a very quick 5-minute video, and I'll put the link in it in both chats. I have never seen a video from this content creator before. They're called Split Screen Star Wars. In fact, let me share my screen. I have never seen a video from Split Screen Star Wars before, so this will be a first. And I have not watched these videos already, so might turn out that some of them aren't really all that great. But based on the amount of views and what type of video it's supposed to be, I figured these will probably be a good time and something that'll give us what we want. Oh, you're new to Rogue Trader. Oh, that's awesome, Prestige. Just started last week, loving it so far. It's absolutely one of my favorite games, man. You're going to have a lot of fun with it. A lot of fun. Is XCOM mentally draining for you? No, actually not, because I love those type of games. I really like puzzles, and I like games that keep you on your feet and make you think, as long as it feels well balanced. Like, I never play Wrath of the Righteous or Kingmaker on like unfair mode, because in my personal opinion, the games are very unbalanced when you play it that way, and that's just not fun to me. But XCOM has the type of difficulty that just requires you to lean more into the mechanics, lean more into the systems that the game provides, and if you do a good job of that, then you're going to be able to overcome the challenges and have a good time. Every single time someone has died or something really terrible has happened, I've been able to look back and say, you made a mistake here, you made a mistake here, you made a mistake here. I always felt like it was my fault. I never felt like the game was like really, truly screwing me over. And so I enjoy it for sure. What's up, XC? What's up, Clay? How are you? Will this work on Steam Deck with scaling? That I'm not sure of, to be honest with you. I assume it will, but I'm not completely sure, just being straight up. No, wait, nope, that's not right. That's right. There we go. You're also very good at games. Thank you, Christos. I get tired from struggling. I try to make sure y'all are having a good time. What's up, Royale? How are you, dude? Here in the Africa, make a recommendation. Try the harder difficulties for Zero Company, your first run. I'm going to leave it up to the channel, Redbeard. When I start up a new game, when we get to the difficulty section, I'm going to ask the channel, what difficulty should I set this on? And if they say normal, then I'll go with normal. If they want to see the very highest difficulty, then we'll play the highest difficulty. Whatever they want to do, I'm down for it. Can't wait to throw dudes off cliffs. Yeah, you know, that's not really a thing in XCOM. And so it's going to be really cool to get to be able to do that in Zero Company for sure. Are you going to keep dead characters or reload your game? I'm keeping dead characters. Come on now. You watch me play XCOM. I don't reload. I only reload if we fail the mission. But if somebody dies, they dies. Hey, that's the nature of the beast. Is the embargo going to lift soon so we can decide to pre-order on PS5 or Steam Deck? I did not receive a key, or I did not receive an early key for the game, so I don't know what the embargo is. So I can't tell you about when the embargo is actually going to lift. Yeah, that's the same thing I did for XCOM, Redbeard. I didn't choose to play on normal. The channel said, we want you to play on normal. There's no reason to make it more difficult than it has to be. You reload at point blank shots missing? Hell nah, not accepting that. Nah, y'all have seen, hey, if something bad happens, I just roll with the punches and keep going. Keep going. All right, first one. Which edition of the game should you get? I haven't purchased the game yet, so this is going to be very useful information for me. Let's see what the deal is. Oh, do you plan on playing Lobotomy Corporation in the future? Not in the near future, Lennon. I've got a ton of other games I've got to play right now. I'm sure you'll make the list of created characters, Joby. I have
Having
no
now
doubt
played
about
Star
that
Wars Zero
whatsoever.
Company and understood so much more about this game, I wanted to have a look at the different editions of it once again, to explain them in more detail with the context of the game actually behind it, to help you guys make a better informed decision about which edition you might want to get, particularly if you purchase the game within the next 2 weeks. But if this also helps later down the line,
What are those books in the background?
Before I do get into that though, I've obviously played Star Wars Zero Company now, and I've got a lot of content planned
Look
over
at
the
you.
next
That's a
few
nice
weeks.
logo.
You will not want to miss out, as I'll be going over lots of different details about this game in the build up to launch and beyond, so make sure you stick around. So just as a quick reminder, we have the standard edition, the deluxe edition, and the collector's edition for Star Wars Zero Company. If you purchase the standard edition, this simply gives you the base game and nothing more for the price of £40. If you're not worried about additional cosmetics or any physical media from the collector's edition, then this is obviously going to be your best choice. If you are like me and love your customization in games though, you have the deluxe edition, which provides you with a few additional packs. These being the Grand Army of the Republic pack, the Shadow Collective pack, and the Painted Weapons pack. In the Republic Cosmetics pack, you get the 100th Clone Company Clone Trooper, Republic Officer Uniform, and the ARC Trooper Armor Pack, which comes with 14 different armor sets that consist of different patterns, and not just the 3 you see in the graphic. In the Shadow
you just
Collective
watched
pack,
this, Johnny?
you get
Great
2
minds.
Pike Syndicate helmets with different
Pike
patterns, and then
helmets are
5
awesome.
face tattoos that you can apply to your operators' faces, and these tattoos
I like
are
that
of
face on the
different
Death
syndicates.
Watch.
And then finally, in the Painted Weapons
Did that
pack,
say
you
Hut
get
Cartel?
5 different patterns
Sick.
for weapons, such as the 100th Clone Company and Bespin Security. Now, with all of these cosmetics, you can change their colors from a vast selection.
Oh,
of
that's the
colour
way it works?
spectrum,
Oh,
so they
wow,
are
there's
incredibly
layers of how you can
customizable.
change the
You can then also
colours?
customize exactly what it is you want to use. And what I mean by that is you can choose the helmet of one of the ARC Troopers. You could then use the body of the Republic Officer, and then have the gloves and the lower body of a Clone Trooper, and that would be absolutely fine. You can then obviously change the colors of them, so you could go pretty wacky, like I have here with this Clone Trooper. And then with the weapons, each weapon has a couple of different parts that you can
Brian is gonna
customize,
love
so you can
this.
choose which pattern you want for the barrel, for
You
example,
know I do,
and you can
Saint.
choose a different pattern for the stock, and so on. And then again, you can change the colors of these as well. So there is a lot of depth
so
to this
there's
customization.
way more
Now with
customizations for weapons than what's in XCOM. That's actually super cool. You can change the base, the stabilizer, the cell, the barrel, and the scope. That's insane. Wow, wow, wow. That's super, super cool. What's up, Travis? Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, man. Oh, that's rough. I've never had gallstones, but I've heard it's a rough time. I'm sorry to hear that, man. I hope you're able to recover soon. What's up, Arcado? I wonder if that is per soldier or per class. Good question. Good question. I was afraid they wouldn't have much customization, but it's tickling now the good ways. Me too. Man, oh man.
Now, with the depth of the customization in mind, the deluxe edition costs £50, so £10 on top of the base game.
Right, so
there
the
is, of
deluxe
course,
is a
plenty of
must.
customization in the base game, and I've obviously not seen the full extent of what that is yet. But if you like cosmetics like I do, and particularly you want the ARC Troopers, then I would definitely recommend the deluxe edition. But if you're not bothered by...
Paulie! What's up, man? How are you, dude? I hope life is good, man. I try to watch this guy, but he still refuses to drop everything and play Subnautica. I was going to completely ignore Subnautica 1, and then one day Scott told me about it, and I was like, you know what? I'll give it a whirl, and I think I streamed it like 2-3 times. I don't remember. Was I on Facebook Gaming back then, or was I on YouTube yet? I think I might have been back on Facebook Gaming when I was live streaming Subnautica. I had a great time, but y'all know survival games just aren't my thing. I do plan to play Subnautica 2 at some point, not because I expect to love it, but just out of solidarity with the developers who the execs tried to screw over, and now they ended up having to pay those people the bonuses that they very, very clearly deserved. I love that story so much, and that alone just makes me want to buy Subnautica 2 just to screw those guys over a little bit more. What's up, Guy? Appreciate you following me over on Twitch, dude. that didn't have a lot of situational awareness, what you mean with some
cosmetics whatsoever, then this ultimately won't add any value to you. So the
Oof.
standard edition is still probably the best way to go. Finally, we have the collector's edition. This gives you a bunch.
So let's see. Doing great, Scott. Hey, that's awesome to hear, man. I love that. Love that. That's awesome. Yeah, I thought it was the Facebook games. When I came out of YouTube, it was CRPGs all the way. Trick pin, logo pin, variant Star Wars, the Black Series Electron. Oh, thermal detonator. That brings me back to KOTOR. Premium foil stamp box, a steel book, a retro jewel case,
physical merch such as the exclusive
and then what's
Black
that on the
Series
bottom?
Detonator variant, pins, patches,
Is that a
cards, steelbooks?
It's a desk mat.
That you can
you
see
know,
here.
If
Personally,
I didn't already have a super raw desk mat that I'm never gonna change out, I would get that. In fact, I don't think I've shown the desk mat recently. Probably a lot of you did missed it. Hold on one second. Outcat sent me and a few other content creators here. Let me change this up. Sent me and a few other content creators a pretty awesome desk mat. That's of all the different games that they've come out with. I need to make some changes and adjustments on my desk, so I'm not using it right now. But once I'm able to put this down, I'm never letting it go raw. Absolutely freaking raw. I was so damn happy when I pulled this out. I never even, I didn't know they were going to send it either. It's not like they told us in advance. Sleepy Dog, what's up, man? Appreciate you signing up with me over on Twitch, dude. Yeah, super cool. Super, super cool. I'm a fan of it.
A big fan of all of the content that is contained within this. However, it does cost approximately £250 with shipping, which for me is pretty excessive, honestly.
Yeah, I think I'm going with the deluxe as well.
I do like all of the contents within it, but I cannot justify that price at all. But obviously, if you guys are keen for it and you want that physical content, then that is absolutely an option. You can get it on the limited run website up until August 23rd, so less than a couple of weeks to go on that. I'm assuming after that there won't be any direct purchase available, so it's worth keeping that in mind. Now, on that note of pre-orders, if you pre-order Star Wars Zero Company, you will be able to access the Crystalline Astromech pack as well, which gives you the head of an R2,
so
R4,
then I definitely
R5,
need to pick it up tomorrow.
VR1 series with transparent materials.
I like that red
so you
one.
Can see that
What's up, Fury? You looking forward to this one as well? Me too, man. Me too. 6-7. Probably too rich for my blood for the collector said. Yeah, I'm going with the deluxe for sure. What's up, Bats? The man they have is pretty cool. Yeah, I saw it.
In game, it definitely looks really cool. I'm not too sure how often I'll use that, but that's just a personal preference of mine. It's definitely neat to see. But you do get that with any edition that you pre-order. Once the game's released, if you don't pre-order though, I'm not sure what's going to happen. I'm not aware of any microtransactions happening.
This
in
is
the game.
basically
Maybe
like Star Wars XCOM. Yep, Molecule. That's that
but
will
they
be
are
accurate.
all of the different editions in this game. If you just want the base game and you're not interested in cosmetics or merch, then the standard edition is absolutely the version to go for. If you
Travis, I saw your message about gallbladder stones. I said, I'm sorry to hear that, and I hope you're able to recover soon. The deluxe edition cosmetics are nice, but being in Canada, it's $75. Yeah, that's pretty steep. That's pretty steep. I think this is set during the Clone Wars era, Sleepy Dog. Anakin is still a good guy. I know that much. Like he pops in and during a couple of missions apparently. 250 business pounds, $500. Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. What up, Tony? I'm checking out Star Wars Zero Company. It's coming out Thursday. I'm probably going to take the day off and start streaming it early in the morning. Very, very excited for it. Very, very excited for it.
Do you like cosmetics? Then the deluxe edition absolutely provides players
all
with
good,
some
Travis.
great options, and that's definitely the one.
I know you're alien right now. I hope you feel better soon, man.
Alongside those cosmetics,
I wonder if there's an Order 66 mission. This is a great question.
Of that price as it is
great question.
Hopefully you guys found this video useful, though. I'd love to
I
hear
did.
feedback.
This was a good job. Thank you, sir. You answered my questions. I know for sure I'm going to go ahead and get the deluxe edition. Great video. So once again, the link for it is in the chat, and it's also in the description for my video if you're on YouTube. If you all want to check it out for yourself, I think that was definitely well worth watching. Makes things clear for me. Okay, next up is Ruthless Night Sister. She has a video that goes over all of character creation, so species, clone armor, astromechs, blasters, and more. This is yet another content creator that I have never heard of before. So again, not sure if she'll actually be any good. And I'm sorry, I just realized I did not subscribe to Old Boy, I do believe. If you're reacting to someone, you should go ahead, show them a little love, and subscribe. So there you go. I highly recommend all of you do the same thing as well. Why do you say there likely won't be an Order 66 mission, Wine Guide? Nice. Bond, you pre-ordered yours? Yeah, I'm going to pre-order mine tomorrow. Been revisiting Darkest Dungeon 2? Yeah, we've been talking about it a lot. I'm not surprised. What's up, Saber? How are you, dude? See KOTOR or Star Wars Eclipse at Gamescom. I seriously doubt we see anything KOTOR related. What is Star Wars Eclipse? I don't even know what that is. You watched this earlier. It's good, but her energy is a bit much for you. We'll see if I feel the same way. So yeah, Ruthless Night Sister has a video going over all of character creation. I will put her link in the chat and pin it, so you all can easily access it. And there we go. And let's see. And let me pin this. Whoops. Here we go. Pin this. Yep. Replace pinned message. There we are. Okay. Thought Eclipse got canceled. Wasn't that for the same day as Detroit Become Human? If it was, it probably was canceled. Let's see. Star Wars Eclipse. First announced, the game remains early in development with no official release date announced. So looks like it's not canceled as of yet, but people seem to feel like it's very... Yeah, see, Star Wars Eclipse is in deep trouble due to understaffing, developer strikes, and management issues. I know that the former lead writer for the studio that did Detroit Become Human left the studio. Yeah, the former lead writer for Quantic Dream left, and now he hooked up with Chris Avellone, who was deeply involved in Obsidian games like Pillars of Eternity 1, Planescape Torment, and there's another game that, Fallout New Vegas. They made a studio together now, and they're working on a game together. And so I don't know if that guy was basically jumping ship before things got really, really bad, but doesn't look like Star Wars Eclipse is in a good place. Just finished your 6th playthrough of KOTOR 2. Nice. Yeah, I got to revisit the KOTOR series on the channel for sure. 60% sure they said this is the tail end of the Clone Wars to the New Empire, so there should be Order 66 at least references. Interesting. Okay. Black Isle, no, I think they made something else. Chris, here, what's it called? Chris Avellone New Studio. Yeah, joins former studio. Okay, Republic Games. That's what it's called. So Adam Williams, the former lead writer for Detroit Become Human and Star Wars Eclipse, founded the studio in late 2024. The studio is developing an ambitious, dark, and mature fantasy role-playing game. The unnamed project features deep player choices, branching past political drama, and supernatural elements designed to capture the feel of the golden age of RPGs. Will Chris Avellone succeed in this? Who knows? We will find out soon. Dumb Dare, hey, I appreciate it, man. Thank you so much for all the love. I appreciate you all. All right. Let's get into our video and see what she has to say.
Is coming out in the next few weeks, and I am here to tell you all about the customization you get in this game, because that's what the people have been begging for, and I was like a kid in the candy store the entire time I was going through it. So let's talk about it, all of it. But before we get into all of the customization
I have a lot
and
of
juicy
super
details, I'm
ambitious,
excited to
no
share
doubt
with you
about
guys.
it.
I wanted to give a quick shout out to EA and BitReactor for thinking I was cool enough to trust with their video game.
Good job, guys. Thank you for giving her a key.
I'm able to with you. We were
Most
only
content
allowed a
creators
minimal
didn't go
amount of our
over
own
character
captured
creation,
content
and
to share
apparently
with you
she
guys,
does a
and
deep
I
dive
decided
on it.
to
So
share mine
definitely appreciate it. She
all
knows what the people
into
want.
the customization, 'cause
She
that was something
knows
that you guys
what the people
really
want.
seem to be interested in. So if there's things that feel like
The
maybe
lost
they're
Star
going a bit
Wars
fast,
IP, I
you
wish they
we had
revived
touched
is
on some more
Galactic
things more, I just wanted to
Battlegrounds. What was so
preface
great about that game?
I only had a certain amount of time I can share, so I wanted to share the most that I
Hawks
could.
can't be a clone. Oh, that's
being said,
interesting. I guess that choice makes sense, but I like you, one guy, to assume that would be an option. Interesting.
This menu here is the one outside of the game where you can create characters that will show up in your recruitment pool.
Okay.
In addition to that being cool,
whoa. I'm seeing races that I actually didn't expect. Domino, what's going on? I appreciate you signing up with me again over on Twitch. Zero Company drops Thursday. I will definitely be live streaming it, so make sure you're locked in. I'm pretty sure I'm going to try to take the day off so that I can stream it in the morning. So as soon as it gets released, I'll be all over it. I'm glad YouTube recommended me your channel when I was looking at Pathfinder information. You play everything I'm interested in. Hey, I'm glad to hear it, man. Hopefully that continues, dude. It's my pleasure. You'll be here. Fabulous, Domino. Fabulous. Looking forward to it, man. She's going to go over all the races. That's amazing. Very good job. Humans are the most common sentient species in the galaxy. Their proliferation makes it difficult to pin down an original home.
Show up in your
Avacions are found throughout the galaxy and known for their pleasant-looking expressions and two sets of facial
recruitment
horns.
pool.
Nemodian. I don't know how evil or cruel you can be in this game. It's probably not the kind of game where you can go all out like that. But if they let us be like a really, really more mean-spirited person, boop, 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 boop. This is probably where I would go. Hailing from Neomodia and her string of wealthy Purse World colonies, Neomonians are a highly strategic species, perhaps best known for running the Trade Federation. So it looks like different races are more so a cosmetic choice, and it doesn't provide you with specific stats, but we'll see. All droid squad. Yep, Cad Bane, Johnny. Exactly. Travis, whether or not I play Dawn Walker day one will depend on how the channel feels about our Zero Company run. If they're highly invested in it, like, nah, just go ahead and finish it, then I'll finish it. But if they're like, nah, we're tired of this, go switch over to something else, then we'll play Dawn Walker. I'm a man of the people. I'll do what the people want. What's the Cad Bane race? I thought hold on. Oh, Duros. Duros is what he is. Yep, that's a good call out. Yeah, I don't see. Well, what is that? Here, we'll see.
In addition to that being cool, it also gives us a nice look at all of the base character customization this game has to offer.
That.
First, we can see the different types of characters you can make. Clones, Deveronians, humans, Ovicians, Nemoidians, Mirialans, Rhodians,
Also, this is for
Torgruda,
mercenaries,
Twi'leks,
but you can't
Weequay,
do this for your
and
own
Zabraks.
personal character.
So first I'm going to show you the human species customization. I chose this first and foremost because it's the most overarching.
Arcado, not only is Zero Company, Dawn Walker, and Animusha a week apart, but also in that same time frame, Solasta 2 is getting a major update where they're adding co-op to early access. I gotta play that. I gotta bring the channel in so we can all play together. And on the exact same day, Starfinder is getting an update to its early access. So there's gonna be a ton of stuff going on. A ton of stuff happening all around the same time. September in general has a lot of releases. Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
Of all, so a lot of the
and
things
Wolverine.
You see here in this
Yep,
customization
you're right, Travis.
you will find in the other alien species. So I wanted to show you all of what you could get here on the human species, and then we'll show you anything that's very specific to the aliens later in the video. So let's check it out. Here you can see the body options for humans. 3 levels of height and body
I
type
can't
1
be fat.
and 2.
Son of a
Here
bitch.
you can see the face selection screen. There are a number of faces you can
Wow,
choose
that's a
from,
wide
ranging
variety. I
from
like
very
that.
more masculine to more feminine and many in between.
Yeah, I saw
You can
that
also
Warlock
change
gets
your
added to
character's
lots
skin
too,
tone
Johnny.
from the color options provided. The next aspect of face customization is the
Interesting.
eyebrows.
Do you think
There are
they would
7
add
eyebrow
multiplayer to
options,
Zero
including
Company?
none
Probably
at all.
not, because
You can also
XCOM
choose what color
and
you want these
Midnight
to be,
Suns
and
never
these
had
color choices are the same as
multiplayer.
what
I
you
don't
can
think this
choose for the
developer is
hair
really
that I'll
big
show
on
you
it.
later. Next is eye color. Here you can see the base 13 eye colors you can choose from.
Beautiful.
In the facial detail screen, you have 3 levels of freckles, in addition to 3 levels
Oh,
of
wow.
vitiligo for your character. You can also choose between 13 scar options to give your characters a more hardened feel.
I love putting scars on my character. That's awesome.
Now on to one of my favorite parts, the
What's up, Flag?
hairstyles. This game includes
Oh,
a ton
wait. XCOM had multiplayer? I could have been playing the game in multiplayer this whole time? Oh, XCOM 2 didn't have it, but XCOM 1 did. Oh, what's up, Dugs? Yeah, I'm preparing 3 days in advance because tomorrow Gamescom starts. And so, in fact, I know I'm not going to be able to live stream tomorrow because I got some other things to do in the evening. So we're not going to stream tomorrow. And then Wednesday, we'll have went into 2 days of Gamescoms. So I might have to just dedicate a stream to like watching trailers and talking about all the news. And so we might not have like a regular gaming stream until Thursday when Zero Company is going to come out, to be honest with you. Is Zero Company going to be a game where you have to take certain story NPCs? I don't know. I don't think so, though, Dugs. It's going to give you full capability to create mercenaries, same way XCOM did. So there might be specific quests where you have to take NPCs because you're like doing a companion quest or something like that. But I don't think it's going to be a constant thing. Both XCOM games have multiplayer versus PvP. Interesting. Interesting. You're not buying any more. How are you not buying any more games, Travis? You've been talking about Zero Company all year. You're not buying it? Oh, you have 4 games in September? Okay, so you already purchased it. And you're cutting it off. Got you. I don't know if XCOM 2 streams are over, Wine Guy. We'll see. I know I'm definitely not streaming tomorrow. And we'll have to play it by ear what happens Wednesday. I might stream XCOM 2, or that might have to be it. We'll see.
ton of hairstyles for you.
Both XCOM 1 and 2 have multiplayer, although it's a skirmish PvP. But you can't go into like the regular combat scenarios with multiplayer. Okay, yeah, that wouldn't have worked for me. This hairstyle is crazy.
To choose from. These styles go from
Wow.
super short to relatively long
Wow,
and include straight to curly
this
hair
is
looks
awesome.
and all of those in between. All of
This
these
is
styles have
really,
2 different
really
colorways you
freaking
can
cool.
customize from a very thorough color palette.
This has legs.
In addition to the hair on their head, you can also choose from
Wow.
a ton of facial hair options that also come with their own color customization.
That. Look at that.
After seeing that final one, I knew I had to try and make Santa. Ho, ho, ho.
What?
Now on to the body
Sick.
art and specifically tattoos. There are
Sick,
so many
sick, sick.
options here. It would have taken forever to cover them
Go
all.
Up campaign
Here are
would have
some of
been
the
awesome,
highlights,
Bunny.
and these come in many different color options too.
If we want to get out of here, that'll have to move.
Next, we look at the 7
Hi, buddy.
eyeshadow
Always
options
good
and
to see
all
you.
of the colors you can use there, as well as the eyeliner options that also have very similar colors to choose from, and finally the lipstick
Nice.
options that I think really add that Star Wars feel to any character. Now it's time to look at all of the
Absolutely.
cosmetics. I wish I had had time to show you a 360 of every single one of these hats, shirts, pants, etc. But I was only allowed
that was
so
an
much
iconic
time, so I
clone
hope you'll be
hairstyle?
content
Nice.
with what I have to show you today. You won't be seeing much of
good
the clone
question,
armor in this
Arcado. I
section
wonder
because
if
I'll be
there's a
showing it to
randomizer
you
option.
later
That'd be good.
when I talk about the clones specifically. But do know that any character can wear
I like
clone
that
armor.
voice.
First, one of the cool things on this menu is the ability to toggle the helmet on and off your character during cutscenes. But I know
Lovely.
you're really here
Always
to see
love
the
that.
good, so let's get into it. First, let's look at headwear. There are many different Star Wars hats, from goggles to helmets to rebel hats and more. Each of these headwear options comes with a different amount of color options.
I wonder if you can
so you
unlock
have a lot
more
of
as the
control
game
over
goes
what
on.
color your character is wearing.
Come on, let's get that mask off.
Now onto the tops. There are so many tops to choose from, and many of them are just slight variations on the others. Just like the helmets, these tend to have 2 to 3 color options
I
and a
wonder if you
long
can look like
list
a
of colors to choose
Mandalorian
from.
at some point.
Here you can see some of the armwear options, mostly gloves. Here are some of the lower body / pants options. They are very similar to the shirts in that many of them are variants of another with slightly different belts or
Kinda hope
pouches
it'll
or
be KOTOR
pockets,
level
so you
story
can
quality.
really choose which
We'll
one
see.
specifically you want for your character.
I feel like the story in XCOM
Now
2 is
onto the
just
final
cool.
parts
It's
of
serviceable
customizing
for
your
the amazing
characters,
gameplay,
the
which is
voice.
the real highlight.
I guess
And I feel like
other
Midnight
than all
Suns
the
was
things that have
terrible
to
at
do
it.
with
So
the
I don't feel like the
gameplay,
guys
which
from
gun you
Firaxis,
use, your
that
special skills
story,
whatever, but
and
we're
now
not talking
Bit
about
Rate
that.
Reactor, of
We're
course.
talking about how
I don't
your
feel like
characters
story
look
is
and act
really their
as you're playing
focus,
the
but,
game. Your
you know,
NPCs
we'll see
will
what
be
happens
able
with
to
Zero
talk
Company.
to you, whether that's during battle or in the hideout area. So it's good to kind of listen to these 10 different voices and decide which one fits your custom character the best.
Okay.
So here are the 10 voices you can
Oh,
choose from.
wow.
Give them a listen.
This outfit looks familiar.
Let's do what we do.
Now that's something.
I am sharp.
Do I know you from somewhere?
I'm set.
This could work.
I'm set. If you insist. Would you look at that?
Ooh, that's a nice shot.
And just to say we did it, here's a quick overlook of the talent and specialization options, but I'm sure others will cover those in more detail.
Yeah, we got a separate
Now that
video
we've
for
done
that.
all of that, we're on to what
Nice.
the people really want to see, because I know you guys have commented in my comment section a lot about it. The clone customization. Obviously, clones will all have
Those
the
are
same
not
face,
Hawk's- right,
but
it's
there's
not Hawk's
so much
voice.
you can edit
Hawk
about
has
them,
his
from
own
their
voice.
hair to their tattoos to their beards, etc. But I know you guys are really excited
It's a big
about.
plus
and I
one
know
to
what
use with
I
3
was
classic
really
options.
excited
I
about.
agree.
Let's get into the clone armor customization. Let's go.
Boogie with the Woogie.
Here's a
A
quick
lot of
overview
people have
of the
been
clone helmet
disappointed that
options
we
we're
don't have
getting
a
in this
Wookiee
game.
companion. Can't have them in every Star Wars game.
Here we have the helmets that are included in the deluxe edition of the game in the Grand Army of the Republic cosmetic pack. Just like the other clothing options, most of these clone helmets have around
Beautiful.
2 to 3 color options, usually including the base helmet color, design, and the visor color. You can truly create
I
your
like
own
that
clone
editing
battalion.
job she used of
Now
fade
on to
of
tops.
blurring out the
Just like the
portion
helmets,
that
there
you
is a
didn't need to
wide
focus
variety
on.
of top armor,
I-
as well as
I
gloves
actually
and
don't
leg
know how
armor
she
to
did
choose
that.
from. Get your own clone
That's
battalion.
interesting.
Now on are included in the deluxe edition of the game
That's
in
actually
the
kinda
Grand
sick
Army
the
of
way
the
she did
Republic
that.
cosmetic pack.
How
Just
did
like
she
the
do
other
that?
clothing options, most of these clone helmets have around 2 to 3 color options,
Right,
usually including
right.
the base helmet
Take care,
color,
Travis. Feel
design,
better, man.
and the visor color. You can truly create your own clone battalion. Now on to
Oh,
tops.
crap, I just missed it. Hold
Truly create your and the base helmet color,
Right,
design.
so we had, so she's got, that's so interesting. She blurred out all of that photo except for this small portion here. How does that work? I wonder. Huh. I'll have to look at that. How do you in DaVinci Resolve take one small portion of it, keep it regular, and blur out everything else around it? I've never done that before. I'm sorry, the editor in me is intrigued right now. I'm gonna have to
and
look back
the
at
visor
this.
color. You can truly create
What's
your
up,
own
Hamlet?
clone
Yeah,
battalion.
no, not standard issue.
Now on to tops. Just like
Wookiees
the
are cool.
helmets,
Be
there
nice
is a
to have
wide
them.
variety
I don't
of top
disagree at
armor,
all.
as well as gloves and leg armor to choose from. You can either choose patterns that match each other or
I've
alternate
already
between
seen someone
the
say
different
the
armor
story
looks
is
to create
solid
your
but not
own.
groundbreaking.
Truly, I could spend
That's what I'm expecting
hours
pretty
just
much.
sitting and making clones. It's so cool.
Thanks, Fury.
Luckily, you don't need to have clones
That's
to
an
use this
Adobe
armor,
Premiere
like I mentioned
effect?
before. Almost any character can also
okay, I'm
wear
using
a full
DaVinci
set of
Resolve,
clone
so
armor.
maybe that's the
you can live
problem.
out
But
your
it's gotta
5
be
for
possible
streams
in
with
Resolve.
whatever characters you have.
You already
Now,
know,
let's
Johnny,
take
I'm
a
going to try my
listen
hand
at
out
the
at it.
two
Unfortunately,
clone
I wasn't
voice
able to apply
variants you can
today,
choose
but
from
I
for
know I
your
can
clone.
apply tomorrow, so that's what I'm going to do.
No problem. Just doing my part.
I can't
Jonathan,
wait to
are
see
you
what clones
asking, do
everybody
I think
makes.
it's going to be
I know
Mass
this
Effect good?
literally made
Like
me
with
feel like
builds?
a kid in a candy store.
I think builds
so
are not going
I
to be an
can't
area
wait.
where this game has an issue. So
now
yeah.
on to the more alien species. Each of these species has some customization that is unique to them. So I wanted
that
to
the
cover
way it
all of
is?
it so you could see all the different choices you have when creating your custom characters. So let's get into the cool Star Warsy stuff.
Okay.
First, we're going to look at the Deveronians. They have 4 specialized head shapes, specific skin color options to choose from, as well as 3 horn variants with different colorways as well.
I like.
Next, we have the
like
Mirialans.
that.
They have the same faces as humans,
Look
but a
at
different set
that.
of skin tones to choose from. Absolutely stunning colors. They
That's
also have slight eye color
sick.
variations from humans. The biggest part of their unique customization is their custom tattoos.
Oh.
Next are the Neimoidians. They have 3
Look
custom
at
heads
those
that also come with a
eyes.
unique
What kind of
selection
eyes
of
do you
skin
get?
tones, and they have 3 eye color options as well.
Wow.
Now on to the Ovisians. They have 3
super
custom
cool.
head shapes, as well as a unique set of
Blur's
skin tones
created
to
on
choose
2
from.
separate layers.
They also have 4 horn variants with different
that's a
colorways.
thought. That's very
Now
possible.
onto the Rhodians.
That's very
Rhodians also
possible.
have 3 custom head shapes with many beautiful skin tones to choose from, as well as
Wow,
3 beautiful eye
that
color
actually
options.
looks
They also have
great.
4 different options for their antenna,
This looks
as well
really,
as 4
really
different
freaking
hairstyles
cool.
unique to them.
Tattoos are a huge part of their culture.
Now onto the
Nice.
Torgruda. They have the same faces as
Gruda.
humans, but a unique set of
What's the
colorful skin
difference
options.
between a Torgruda
They also
and
have
a
a full
Twi'lek?
custom set of face markings with custom
Maybe
color
I'm
options.
bugging for
In
feeling
addition
like
to
they
that,
look
they have
similar.
extra eye color options.
Now I want to look at it. Hold on. What does a Twi'lek look like? Not quite. Okay. Okay, there is differences. I see. Okay. Interesting.
They also have 3 different Leiku styles with 3
They basically
different
give you
marking
access to
styles
the
that
engine
also
to
come
make
in some
your,
unique color
character
options.
looks like.
They also have 4 different headwears specifically for their mod.
I can promise the Dawnsbury devs are good people, and the game is pretty good too. Despite what 3 says, 3 can be a hard man to please. I ain't worried about him and his opinions. What up, Phoenix? Some people will see all these cool alien options and make their Hawks a white dude with short brown hair. Boring as all hell. Yeah, Twi'lek has tentacles. It's different, I agree. To be honest, I don't expect groundbreaking story from an XCOM style game. Good tactical turn-based combat is the most important thing. If it has good atmosphere and a good okay story, I'm all set. To be honest with you, my biggest concern is the writing, because like I said, I did feel like I also don't expect something groundbreaking, but I also don't want to have to experience something that I feel like damages the overall experience. And that's definitely the way I felt about Midnight Suns. I felt like the writing was so bad in that game that it kind of brought down my thoughts on playing it all the way around. And so I'm really hoping this game is going to avoid that. I'm also... I feel like I'm going to have kind of higher than usual expectations in regards to the companions than I would for like a typical tactics game, only because when you look at the XCOM experience, there are no companions. You chose to put this in here, so hopefully you put some real effort in their voice acting, their personalities, and their character arcs, so that it gives people a good reason for why the companions are part of the mix. That's kind of what I've been looking at. We'll see how it goes. Did you watch The Ninth Jedi? I don't even know what The Ninth Jedi is. What's up, Alex? White Warrior, big sword.
Controls.
Oh, Twi'leks are an option here.
Now
Oh, nice.
on to the Twi'leks. They have the
And
same
here we
face
are.
options
Okay,
as
cool,
humans,
cool.
but they have unique and beautiful skin color options. In addition to this, they have 3 different Leiku style, as well as 7 Leiku marking styles you can choose from.
She is killing this video, walking through all the different options. Like, everybody who wondered how extensive customization would be and what are you going to be able to do, she's doing an amazing job of making it clear how much control you're going to have in your character. Definitely big kudos to, what's your name again? Night Sister? Ruthless Night Sister. Yeah, Night Sister, you did an amazing job with this. This is really, really good work.
That also come with their own custom colors.
Night Jedi was good. Basically, Star Wars anime. I haven't seen it.
Specifically for
Is it on
Leiku.
Netflix?
Now on to the weak way.
She's
They
like
have the least customization
Good
options with
Lord,
only 2
look at
heads
that.
and some unique colorways.
Oh, wait. I remember these guys. I remember them from KOTOR. They wanted to kill one of your companions when you go to the planet with the gambling on it. I forgot what the name of that world was. I remember these guys. Oh, that's actually kind of fun. Cray. Oh, of course it's on Disney Plus. Thanks, Ronnie. Yeah, why did I even ask? It seems like the license and the writer for Jedi Survivor will allow them to do a decent story. Oh, that's who's involved with the game? Nice. Nar Shaddaa. Thank you, Enjoyer. Appreciate it. Yeah, that's exactly the planet. They are Jabba's gangsters. Right. I remember these guys.
They have really cool and unique hairstyles, though. I absolutely love these. Last but not least, the Zabrak. They have the same face options as humans, but just...
Oh, why do they keep reminding me of KOTOR 2? Your Zabrak companion, man, he always sounded so introspective every time he spoke. It always felt like he was thinking back to all the things he had done and, trying to figure out what kind of person he wants to be now. Such a super, super cool character. Wow,
I love
that look.
They have their own unique color skin tone options, adding to the human color palette.
Wow.
They have 4 unique horn options that have their own color options as well, and they also have custom tattoo styles you can choose from.
That's so freaking cool.
So that's a general overlook of the custom character customization. I wish I could have shown you everything in a lot more detail.
Everybody's gonna make a Darth Maul looking dude.
The amount
Not
of time
me.
I needed to be able to show you all of it, but I guess that just means you're gonna have to get the game and
curious of
create
pros,
your
cons,
own
and differences,
custom
limitations
clone
between
battalion.
races. I don't think there are pro
said,
cons, Fury. Like
I
each
forgot
one does not give you
really
specific
important about
bonuses
the
as far as I was able to tell.
customization.
And I'm not sure if there's even going to be reactivity based on the race you choose either. Like Bit Reactor, the guys who made XCOM, they don't strike me as that kind of dev.
There are so many cute little head options for your droids,
There's
as
the
well
Brak
as
Jedi
so
Master
many color
from
options to choose from.
the Old Republic
they
trailer.
also have so many cute and unique paint options, in addition to the different variants that you're sure to find one that you like for your little buddy of mass destruction. Just like the clones, this custom
Darth Maul race. Darth Maul is a Darthomirian Zabrak. I don't know how different that is, but he's definitely a Zabrak of some sort.
customization screen had me giggling
What's up,
and living
Arsha?
out my
How
Star
are
Wars
you?
dreams. In addition to how they look, you can also choose between 2 different voice options for your
They
little
said to
droid
show they're
buddy.
related race but distinctly different. Interesting. I'm just really not into having
Before we get into
droids on my
blaster
squad.
customization, I wanted to show you
But
a little bit of what
their
you can
mechanics
expect when you
might
start the game and
change
you
my
get to the
mind because I know it's
customization
supposed to be a
screen for
big
your
deal. They
Hawks.
have like
In the game,
pockets
you
or
get
like
put
can
into a
easily
character
hold grenades or
customization
support
screen where
items
you
of
can
some
choose
sort.
between
So
a few
we'll see.
species for your Hawks. Deveronians,
They did do
humans,
more companion
Myrions,
stuff in Chimera.
Zabraks,
Oh, and
Twi'leks,
Chimera
and
Squad also
Perbruta.
have more companion stuff?
In addition to all of the
okay.
customization for those species, you can
You
choose
can make an
between 2
all-droid
voice
team?
options.
Hilarious.
One, a more masculine,
Money in the bank. Welcome to the team.
the other, more feminine.
Everything all right over here? Money in the bank.
Hawks also has some special pieces of clothing, but other than that, their customization is the same as what we've already seen. Different story NPCs also have some special customization options, mostly include only outfit customizations, but here's a quick look at that as well.
Zero Company is a little less wordy. Less wordy than what on? Even your enemy, the chosen cat. Oh, then XCOM 2. I'm sure they're doing a better job. Wait a minute. Wait.
In addition to
Story.
customizing,
Oh, this was companions. Okay, so yeah, I guess only the companion probably gets Mandalorian gear. Dang it! That's one of the things I really loved about KOTOR. You can pick up Mandalorian stuff and do whatever you want. I love looking like a Mandalorian.
in addition to
What up, Randall? I don't know if we're going to return to XCOM 2. We're doing this stream tonight. Tomorrow night, I'm not going to be able to stream. I know that. I have stuff I have to do in the evening. And then Wednesday, by the time we get to Wednesday, there'll have been 2 days of Gamescom. And so I feel like I'm probably going to need to do a stream dedicated to all the trailers and news that has come out from the Gamescom show. If it turns out that's not the case, if most of the stuff announced isn't really stuff that appeals to me all that much, then we'll do one more XCOM 2 stream before Zero Company comes out. We'll see. Yeah, History, I definitely hope it's not going to be something that has a ton of bugs. That would be very, very unfortunate. HK-47 is one of the most amazing droid companions of all time. One of the most amazing companions of all time, period. For sure, for sure. Chimera Squad, what's up, Moonlight? Has named companions with different powers and personalities. Interesting. Miles will make Hawks of Mando. Mega, we were already talking and noticed that there was not a randomizer option that we see, but maybe in the full version of the game, we will have that. That would be great for sure. Right, our both dead. We got to push for that, didn't they? Absolutely, Randall.
Hawks, NPC characters, astromechs, etc. You can also customize your blasters and weaponry with different colors, patterns, and
Star Wars
choose
absolutely
from
would not be the same without C-3PO
when it
and
comes to
SK-47.
different blaster types. Here you can see the different colors you can choose
Sick.
from for your weaponry, in addition to getting different pattern options that you can customize for each individual part of the blaster. Here's a quick overview of what those look like. There are multiple variations, starting with 4 variations on each blaster type that you can choose from to make your character truly your Star Wars character.
Wow.
In addition to this, when you
Just
equip
wow.
different gun customization perks, that also changes the way that your custom
No
blaster
problem, Megan.
looks.
HK is the best
So
droid
that's
in the
brunt
lore.
of the
Hard to
customization you
disagree,
can
Diver.
expect when you jump into Star Wars Zero Company.
Can we romance
I
the
will preface
droid?
this by
Stop
saying
it.
that what I have shown you today is just the customization you get at the very beginning of the game. This does not include any of the customization and additional cosmetics and things that you unlock while you play the game. But I
This
will
is going to
say,
be a question.
I think
Do we get
this
more?
is a pretty solid
Do we
starting
get
point.
more,
I know, especially with things like the clone armor and astromech
See, she
customization.
says starting point, but I don't know that we get more options. That to me, that's a question. Because in XCOM, we didn't get more options. Now, in Midnight Suns, I think we did, right? I think you unlocked more cosmetic options as you went along. But I don't feel like I've heard confirmation yet that as you play through the game, more and more options will become available. That would be amazing because maybe when you finish the Mandalorian's quest line, you get access to Mandalorian cosmetic options for everybody in your group. That would be awesome.
I was very pleasantly
Are you doing characters' name for the community again? I am, Owen, but I do plan to use all of the companions provided as well. So I'm not sure how many opportunities there will be for people to be able to, create their characters and actually see them get used. We'll see how it kind of all shakes out. I got to get a feel for the game. One of the weaknesses I definitely can see in the run that I did of XCOM 2 is that I only created 2 squads, and looking back, I think I should have went with 3. I should have went with I need to have 3 of every single class to ensure that I'm going to be in a good spot. Now, I think from my understanding, classes don't quite work the same in Zero Company, so I've got to kind of map out what do I feel like is necessary and how do I want to do it. But again, long story short, I am going to create people, but I don't know how it's going to work out. That's what she said. Did she actually say you get more options? Or it seems like what she said is, hey, this is a good starting point if we get more options along the way. I don't feel like she directly said, yes, we're going to get more options. What's up, mister? How are you? Kind of hate how close this release is to Dawn Walker. How you think I feel? It's gonna be rough covering all of this, but we'll see how it goes. Think you unlock cosmetic options? I think I perhaps remember hearing they're unlocked for new games when you beat the game. Ooh, that's nice. Nah, I don't want to re-listen Fury. We'll just find out when we play the game. It's only in a couple of days anyway. We need to get to classes. Waiting every day for this game. Me too, Jackson. Me too. Have you decided on what your Hawks will be yet? I have not. So actually, before we finish, I'm going to circle back to the races list and figure out what race I want my Hawks to be. I just don't want the between mission stuff to be silly like Midnight Suns. Yeah. It will be very interesting to find out what the writing is like. Hopefully, it's just not a turnoff. This is going to be amazing. Bet the DLC will be good too. Hopefully, Randall. I'm with it. She did say that other characters can gain access to clone armor.
How many options, especially color options they have given us. So
oh yeah, Phoenix, I didn't even think about that, but yeah, DLC with more races, classes, and cosmetics.
So tell me down in the comments what you are most excited about, the things you've seen in this video as far as customization for the game. Also, let me know
the
if
weapons
you have
of the
any
classes
other questions
are really
about
key.
Zero Company. Okay. Maybe not really.
Okay, looks like this is the end of the video. So let's go back to the beginning. It's my first time playing the game, so I'm definitely going to be a good aligned character. And I'm definitely not going to be human. I'm also most likely not going to be someone small. And so I'm going to X out you, and I'm going to X out you, and I'm going to X out you, and I'm going to X out you, because none of that really fits with what I'm doing. You know, I'm strongly leaning towards, what was the name of that companion? Zabrak companion. What was his name? Bayor. I keep thinking about him. I loved his voice so much. He was so freaking cool. I wonder if you could do like a Bayor type of run. As long as they spend as much DLC effort on more missions, maps as they do adding raids and cosmetics, cool. I don't know if there's going to be a morality system. If you like this style gameplay, eventually when you get the time, Battletech is a great game. Yeah, this has been mentioned before. I think that's definitely a game I'm going to have to check out. Would you have preferred a silent protagonist? No, to be honest with you, I'm not big on that. I'm not big on everybody else can speak, but my character can't. Doesn't appeal to me at all. I strongly prefer when my character is able to speak. What no Greedo playthrough? Dude, I forgot all about Greedo. That would be so much fun. And I love the way the Rhodians look. The only reason I said no short people is because I played as a dwarf once when I was playing Inquisition. And even though I know BioWare put in a ton of effort to change the camera angles and make it seem more okay and all that, but it was still just a turnoff for me. Like, I really didn't enjoy that all that much. But being a Rhodian would probably be completely different. I don't know. It's probably between these two. It's probably between these two. And you know what? I'll make a decision when we've looked at the classes I could be, because the class helps to define what kind of person I am. So let's look through the classes and I'll circle back to this video. That's what's going to happen. You got to go to the Hawks customization section to see what species you can be. So wait, clones, alien species, astromechs, Hawks customization. Oh, wait, I forgot. Everything isn't available. You start the
game and you get to the customization screen for your Hawks.
I like Battletech
history.
history.
You get put into a character customization screen where you can choose between a few species for your Hawks. Deveronians, humans.
Oh, so you flat out can't be Rhodian. I missed that. So Zabrak then is Zabrak. That's the way I'm going. My first character is going to be a Zabrak. You want to be an astromech like Chopper? Nice. Don't you want to share alien heritage with Rosario Dawson? No, we don't have to be the same. She can still be my baby. I don't have to be the same race as her. It's okay. Canderous Ordo was amazing. Canderous Ordo was my first experience in a game of me going completely all out evil and my companion being completely okay with it. Like, I thought I was going to lose all of my companions. And Ordo was like, nah, we good. Where we going, boss? What you want to do, boss? You want to kill all those civilians? Let's do it. I'm like, this guy is amazing. This guy is amazing. Canderous war stories were so riveting. Yeah, that's one of the things I didn't really like about KOTOR 2. To me, he felt underutilized in KOTOR 2. I really wanted more. I really wanted more out of those interactions. But, you know, I'm still hoping for a KOTOR 3 at some point. We'll see. Yeah, he was badass, but there just wasn't enough of him. Felt like there should have been more. Okay, so yeah, definitely my main person is going to be a Zabrak. All right, now, this was awesome. Once again, if you haven't yet, go ahead and subscribe to Ruthless Night Sister. I put the link in the chat, and it's also in the description as well. If you're on YouTube, absolutely check her out. So, what's up, dude? How are you? What up, Gecko? Perfect place to watch this game unfold. Got my popcorn ready. Well, the game isn't out yet. Right now, preparing for the game's release. It'll be out on Thursday, though, and you know I'll be all over it. Candor says Mandalorian KOTOR 2 was awesome. I do agree. I just wanted more of it. I wanted more of it. All right, next up is Dantix. I'm sure all of you are very, very familiar with him. He has a couple of videos on this particular game that I plan to take a gander at. Replace pen message. So hit the link to this video is in the chat and again in the description. Definitely check him out. Subscribe if you haven't already. And he is going to walk through every class in the game. I assume all the classes are available to Hawks, or hopefully he'll let us know if there are classes that are not. There's a mod for KOTOR 2 on Steam Workshop that restores some of the cut content. Oh, really? I wonder if there was any cut content in regards to Candor Sordo. That's a great call out. When I get around to those games, I'll have to be sure to check it out. No Chiss selection? What is Chiss? The Chiss were near sentient species that possess blue skin. Oh, that's the Chiss. Oh, yeah. Interesting. I hadn't even thought about it. I never knew their name was Chiss. That's interesting. Going to make a blue Mirielon and cosplay as Thrawn. Nice. Chiss is Admiral Thrawn's race. We need a movie about Candor's rise all the way to his role as Mandalore. I'd certainly buy it.
Hey guys, Dantix here. I've now spent dozens of hours with Star Wars Zero Company, and I think I found what could be the game's biggest strength. On the surface, it's an XCOM style tactics game, but once you start digging into the specializations, talents, weapon choices, mods, and eventually dual specializations, you'll realize this is less about picking a class and more about creating completely broken builds. Want a sniper that never misses? You can do that. Want a gunslinger that empties half the battlefield before anyone else gets a turn? Yep. How about a heavy that focuses the entire enemy team to attack them while retaliating for each slight against them? That's possible too. Today I'm going to go through every basic specialization, every talent, what they actually do, and the ones that stood out during my time. This will help you decide on your character's starting specialization. Since I didn't get to play the entire game, there will be a lot of surprises that I don't cover, but there still are a lot of combos that I'm going to go through that are absolutely ridiculous. So let's jump into it.
What up, Pepsi? I agree, it looks amazing.
There are 8 basic specializations that Hawks and your other operatives can pick and change between. These are the Assault, which focuses around fast movement, getting up close and flanking enemies. The Gunslinger, which likes to stack insane amounts of shots in a single turn. The Heavy, which you might have guessed is your tank, and the only specialization that can taunt enemies without particular mods. The Medic, which is better at healing your specialists as well as giving them combat buffs. The Scoundrel, which focuses on assisting other specialists with bonus damage and shots. The Scout, which generates advantage to spend on your big skills as well as ambushing individual targets. The Sharpshooter, which increases their own chance to hit and damage at the cost of movement. And finally, Soldier, which is good up close, from far, and taking out multiple targets with grenades and the rocket launcher. All of these specializations...
Wait, what? So you're supposed to get up close, but you use grenades and a rocket launcher? Is that what he just said?
And finally, Soldier, which is good up close, from far, and taking out multiple targets with grenades and the rocket launcher. All of these specializations you can invest into freely when at the den and swap between on Hawks and your other characters, custom or not, that aren't locked into a specialization.
I think I want to be a soldier. I'm sure he's going to slow down it just a bit, Wine Guide. I think he just wanted to quickly blaze through the entire list. Close and far. Interesting. You know what? I'm doing this slightly out of order. I need to look at another video of his first. He goes through all the companions. I need to look at the companion list, find out what specializations they use and what they prefer, and then figure out what team I prefer. And then based upon that, I'll pick the specialization that the team is missing. So let me, still Dantix, but let me put this is his video in the chat. If you all want to check it out later after the stream. Let's watch this video first, going through all the companions.
Hey guys, Dantix here. Star Wars Zero Company lets you create pretty much any accuracy, more damage, no AP. It's very hard to go wrong with that. Finally, hey guys, Dantix here. Star Wars Zero Company lets you create pretty much any kind of operative you want. From a clone sharpshooter sniping targets with a pistol to an astromech rolling around blowing up everything in sight. But Zero Company has also a selection of authored companions. These characters come with their own unique talents, and in the case of the Jedi Padawan and Mandalorian Warrior, completely unique kits you can't simply recreate with a custom operative. Now, the great thing about Zero Company is that your handcrafted operatives aren't treated like second-class squad members. They'll banter with their squad, they'll have their own likes and dislikes, develop relationships, and can be every bit as powerful as the authored characters. But these companions bring tools to the battlefield that you simply can't get anywhere else. So, following on from my breakdown of every specialization in Zero Company, today we're taking that one step further. I'm going through every author companion, what we know about them, what makes them unique, how I'd build them, and most importantly, whether they're actually worth taking. If you want the full breakdown of every specialization, absolutely check out that video below. Otherwise, let's get right into it. Cap is one of the first companions you get access to alongside Trick. He's a Felshi prize fighter, a new species created for Zero Company. After refusing to throw a fight, some gangsters decided to take his arm as punishment. He's since replaced it with a cybernetic one. He speaks in this strangely endearing rhyming dialect.
Yeah, History. Drew is working on Exodus now with Archetype Studios. Are you a Star Wars fan or a Trekkie? I'm definitely more of a Star Wars fan, but I do respect Star Trek. Just look the Culture Tour mod up, and it's called the Sith Lords Restored Content Modification. I will have to check that out for sure. What's up, Victor? How are you, dude?
And Hooks lovingly refers to him as Papa. He starts as the Scoundrel specialization, but you can change that whenever you're back at the den. What you can't change, though, is his unique talent, Uppercut.
So let's see. Uppercut, melee, rush an enemy and strike it, dealing melee damage and pushing it backwards. Defeating the target restores all the action points used, +4 impact damage for each object struck. Oh, wow. So it's not just that you could throw them, knock them off ledges. If you knock them into a bunch of stuff, you might still be able to kill them that way. Very important. Once per turn. So even though you get the AP back, that doesn't mean you can use it over and over again. But one time, he can knock the crap out of a guy, kill them, get all the AP back, and then shoot at a bunch of other people. Nice. Very, very nice. Okay.
And if you aren't planning on using Uppercut, you probably shouldn't be bringing Cab, because this is legitimately one of the best melee attacks in the game. Once per turn for 1 AP plus additional AP depending on the distance.
Oh, that's important to know. So it's only 1 action point to use this.
Traveled, Cab rushes.
Oh, wait. Did he say additional AP based on how much you've traveled?
This is legitimately one of the best melee attacks in the game. Once per turn for 1 AP plus additional AP depending on the distance traveled, Cab rushes towards an enemy, smacks them for melee damage, and sends them flying backwards. But here's the important part. If Cab kills the target, all the AP you spent using it is refunded. So Cab can spend the entire 3 AP crossing the battlefield, cave in some poor B1 battle droid's face, and get all 3 AP back, and continue his turn like nothing happened. And considering scrub enemies like B1s are usually everywhere, you can effectively use them as stepping stones. That makes Cab one of the most mobile characters in the game. This is why I'd personally change him from Scoundrel to Assault. Assault gives him an additional movement bonus, another melee strike with pushback, and because Cab is so good at getting himself in position, he can make fantastic use of the Assault cone-shaped ultimate. Increasing Uppercut's rank mostly increases its base damage, which is nice, but also means you can spend a lot of your focus points elsewhere and use the Assault tree to do the heavy lifting. Soldier is another great option. Soldiers get improvements to melee damage that they can boost even further, and they have a melee attack of their own that can daze. And remember, Uppercut benefits from those melee damage bonuses. So for a relatively small investment, Cap can be...
you can change his arm out as you see fit. That's kind of sick. I don't remember that from the last customization video. Nice. Blue Shrek with the Speed Force. Haha. Wonder if full melee squad could be viable. That's a great question. We'll be able to answer that when we look back at specializations and see what Hawks is able to do. Plus, because I think there's at least the Padawan is obviously someone who's also heavy melee capable. And then I'm curious if there's like one more character in our companions, or we could probably just create them, honestly. Drew rolled the Darth Bane trilogy. Yes, he did. You can pick from which angle it hits. Yeah, it looks like you can push them back exactly where you want, which fixes the XCOM 2 issue some of you all told me about, where you knock people back and then it doesn't quite work the way you feel like it's supposed to.
An absolute
Star Wars 50 needs some crazy releases, but I haven't heard about stuff next year.
monster,
Yeah, I haven't heard
especially once you unlock dual specializations. But you can also get weird with him, because upcut doesn't necessarily have to be treated as an attack. It can be a movement ability. One of the biggest problems Sharpshooter has is repositioning and having enough AP left to fire. Cap doesn't necessarily have that problem. If there's someone unfortunate standing near the high ground you want, uppercut them, potentially kill them, refund your AP, get into cover, and start shooting using your expensive long arm rifle. The same applies to Gunslinger, or basically anything that desperately wants good positioning. So while Cab screams a melee character, you really don't have to play him that way. The world is yours.
Furia didn't say anything about stun, but yes, based on how many objects you hit, it says +4 impact damage for each object struck. So definitely, if you knock enemies into a wall, it's going to do additional damage to them. Fabulous. I really like this guy. I think he has really, really interesting mechanics. I think this is cool. James, what's going on, man? Appreciate you following me over on Twitch. Blood, what's up, dude? Thank you for the $10 donation, man. Can't wait for the game. Me either, dude. I'm going to be all over on this on Thursday. Really, really excited for it. What's up, Bam? I'm hyped for it as well, dude. Hype for it as well.
So I've been testing out the new Vicha Pro 2 XR glasses.
I'll let your ad play, man.
I didn't expect to be using them nearly as much as I have been. Every time I put them on, I end up saying, I'll just play for another 20 minutes, and then suddenly it's 2 hours later. It's basically like carrying around your own massive private display wherever you go. I've been using them in my bed, at my desk, and honestly, these are coming with me on every flight from now on. The best part is how comfortable they are. They're only 63 grams, and the frame is 20% thinner than the previous model. So after a few minutes, you kind of forget you're even wearing them. The screen is ridiculously sharp thanks to the latest Ultra Clarity 3.0 technology. The peak brightness is 1600 nits, which is the highest in the industry. If you're short-sighted, you can adjust the focus right here, built into the glasses. No messing around with prescription inserts. Then there's the mobile dock mini. Snap it onto your Switch 2, plug the glasses in, and you've got a portable gaming setup that fits in your pocket. It even charges while you play thanks to the built-in 10,000 mAh battery. If you're at all curious about XR glasses, this is honestly a pretty awesome place to start, because best of all, the price is the lowest it's ever been at $299, and if you pack it up with the mini dock, you can grab the combo for just $378, saving $20 if you follow the link below. So thanks to Vicha for sponsoring this video.
Species in the
Alongside Cab, Trick is one of the first companions.
I'm looking at videos that are breaking down all of the mechanics of Star Wars Zero Company, so that I know what type of character I want to create, which companions I want to use, and can basically hit the ground running once we get access to the game. He's a former clone trooper and longtime companion of Hawks, and he was involved in the mysterious mission that ultimately saw Hawks framed and fired. I'm sure we'll learn more about what exactly happened out there as our bond with Trick increases. He starts as the soldier specialization, but once again, you can change that as soon as you return to the den. What you can't change is his unique talent for my brothers. At rank 1, once a mission, if Trick is down, he automatically revives at the beginning of the next turn at full health. Trix does not receive an injury the first time he is down. So basically, he is your main tank, sounds like. Okay, cool.
Of the next turn with half his health. The next rank brings you back to full health. The next lets him avoid receiving an injury the first time he's down, and the final rank is where things get ridiculous. If Trick goes down during your turn, he immediately gets back up and recovers 1 action point, which means he can do stupid things like deliberately run through an enemy's Overwatch, knowing that even if they put him down, he's getting back up. So For My Brothers makes Trick incredibly difficult to permanently remove from a fight, and one of the best characters for throwing directly into danger. Naturally, that makes you think Heavy as an obvious specialization. Heavy can taunt enemies and soak up a large amount of punishment. Though, at least on normal difficulty, I actually found that Heavy becomes so ridiculously armored that Trick's talent rarely even needs to activate, which raises another possibility. Instead of using his talent to make an already tanky character even tankier, use it as insurance for a risky character. Gunslingers, assault, scouts, even pistol-based sharpshooters. Basically any specialization that wants to get close enough to the enemy that things could go horribly wrong. Even maybe a medic, because medics revive other teammates much better than the standard specialization. What I wouldn't do is put him into a build that's designed to sit miles away from the action. If Trick never gets shot, you're basically wasting the thing that makes Trick Trick. So if the enemy likes retaliations, Overwatch, or locking down parts of the battlefield, Trick is
I haven't seen anything about boss fights,
straight through it. Though after saying all that, I made him a Heavy anyway, and I just loved it.
Darling, come on now. The 1977 versions of Star Wars are not the only good ones. First time a name was introduced, they must be the standard example of that race. True. Usually play the tanks, so Trick will have to learn some new ones. I think I'm going to be comfortable letting Trick handle the tanking, but I'm curious, what are the other heavies? He's a pistol because he's carrying something really heavy with his strong arm.
Jay Morden is a human disposed or baroness from Shu Toran
Did
who
they ever
wants to
announce
see our
what the romance options are? Hold on. Star Wars Zero Company romance options. There are no player-centric romance options or BioWare-style relationship arcs in Star Wars Zero Company. Really? I swear at one point it had been announced that there were. Developer BitReactor confirmed that the linear cinematic campaign focuses strictly on tactical strategy rather than branching narrative paths. To get a better idea, no romance. All right. Well, that actually makes things easier for me because I don't have to worry about making sure my romance is always with me. Okay, that's interesting. They're still supposedly remastered the original trilogy in the works. Lots of leaks about it. We'll see. They are the best. Jar Jar Binks ruined it for everything afterward. I never knew this. Were you part of the group that was really, really pissed about Jar Jar? He never really mattered to me, to be honest with you. You okay with no romance? Yeah, I'm not tripping, one guy. Like, I had a great time with XCOM 2 with no romance, so I can do the same thing here. We'll see. But then again, XCOM 2 didn't have, like, preset companions that you use. So, I don't know. That aspect of it might make this kind of weird, but we'll see. We'll see. All right, right now, I'm not tripping. Especially since, again, Midnight Suns, from my perspective, had terrible writing. So, before they start adding romance into the game, I want them to release a new game in this era that actually comes off as much more competently written. And so hopefully this gives us that experience. And then we can have a conversation about, well, maybe you should give us a game with multiple endings. Maybe you should give us a game with romance, blah, 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 blah. I don't need any of that right now. Just make the story solid and the writing tolerable, and I'll be good.
An antagonist, Fathom, destroyed after they took her home from her. She's also the one who encourages the Republic to hire Hawks and Zero Company to deal with the Infinite Coil. Jay surprisingly starts as an assault, but like Cab and Trick, you're free to change that whenever you're back at the den.
Okay, so assault is no, soldier is the one that kind of runs up and does rocket launcher things. So assault, I guess, is from a distance. Final shot, 999 base damage. That seems like way more damage than what we've seen for any of the other abilities. Once per turn, Jay immediately fires her blaster and eliminates any enemy left with 4 health or less after an allied operator's attack. Oh wait, this is a passive. Once per turn, she immediately fires her blaster and eliminates any enemies left with 4 health or less after, so one of her companions makes an attack. It doesn't kill the enemy, but the enemy has less than 4 health, and she immediately says, "Bat, you're out of here." That's actually kind of crazy. That's kind of crazy interesting. Be kind of funny in a dark way if you're doing a romance and then get XCOM and lose them on a mission. That's what I was kind of looking forward to, buddy. But, you know, again, we got baby steps. We got to work up to it. Definitely a kill stealer. Sees damage cap. Yeah, I would agree with that. So it just seems like it's just saying it's guaranteed. If they have less than 4 health, they're out of here once that blaster goes off. Jar Jar was a non-factor for me until I saw the behind the scenes. Lucas said he's a funnier character we've ever had before. It's generational delusion.
Her unique talent is Final Shot, and this one is fantastic. Once per turn, if another operator attacks an enemy and leaves them below a certain amount of health, Jay immediately fires her blaster and executes
So what is
them.
you increase
At rank
the
1,
health?
4 health or less. Each upgrade increases that threshold until eventually it's 10 health. So if one of your operators leaves a enemy sitting there with 10 HP, Jay will shoot them from basically anywhere on the map and finish them off before your operator's action has completely ended. And she can't miss. She's essentially your team's executioner. The beauty of Final Shot is that it works.
That's freaking insane. That is freaking insane. I love that. I love that. That is such a roguish scoundrel type way to play. Like, oh, you bleeding? Let me help you, homie. Pow. I like that. I like that quite a bit.
Specialization and weapon. She doesn't need a long arm. She can be carrying a pistol, rifle, or repeater, and she'll still do it. Which means, unlike Cab and Trick, there's no obvious specialization that massively enhances her unique talent. And that's actually a good thing. Jay might be the most flexible authored character there.
You can make a whatever.
Assault, fine. Medic, fine. Scout, fine. Whatever your squad is missing, Jay can probably fill that role while still providing Final Shot in the background. There's really only one thing you don't want her doing. Dying, because apparently Final Shot isn't active while Jay is dead. Shocking, I know.
Of course.
So I probably wouldn't put her in extremely high-risk situations. Otherwise, she's one of those characters you can slot into almost any squad and immediately get value from. Now we get to one of the big ones. Tel Rhea is a Jedi Padawan whose master died investigating the Infinite Coil. She doesn't want to return to the Jedi until her mission is complete. Enter Hawks and Zero Company. Tel is the only character we know about that cannot change her specialization, and she's the most unique of them all. She's a Jedi Padawan, as I mentioned, and everything about her, her abilities, her passive, her equipment, and talent is built around that. Instead of equipping normal utility items like grenades and stim packs, Tel Rhea equips Force Meditations. She initially has 1 slot, but can eventually unlock 3. During my playtime, we had access to 3 meditations. One recovered 8 health at the beginning of the turn, another increased deflection chance by 10%, and another gave her an additional stack of harmony, which brings us to her unique talent, Strong with the Force. Tel Rhea begins each turn with stacks of harmony. Harmony affects both her deflection chance.
Our PC has access to all of the different specializations except the ones that are unique to companions. So for example, this Jedi, the Jedi Padawan has the unique Padawan specialization. Our Hawks cannot get access to that left. I wonder if the Mandalorian also has a unique specialization. And the droids also might be unique. So we'll see, but I'm not sure, but that's what I'm thinking. I have never seen Andor, and I keep hearing that Andor is actually the best of all the Star Wars shows that have come out on Disney Plus. Haven't seen a single episode yet. Tel Rhea feels like a Dodge tank. I agree, Enjoyer. Droid definitely needs a very droid-only kind of special. That's what I'm assuming it's getting. We'll see in a bit. That's what a Jedi Padawan could do. Can't wait for Anakin. Yeah, that's gonna be crazy. It's going to be crazy. She has her own unique class.
And a lightsaber attack. So essentially, the resource around which her entire kit revolves. Each stack provides a lightsaber.
Tel Rhea begins each turn of battle with 6 stacks of harmony. Harmony affects deflection and lightsaber attacks, and you can increase that.
So essentially, the resource around which her entire kit revolves. So each stack provides another 4% chance to block an incoming ranged attack. At the highest tier of Strong with the Force, she can begin her turn with 6 stacks. That's important because Tel Rhea already has a 30% base deflection chance thanks to Padawan training. At 6 harmony, you're looking at a 54% chance to completely deflect incoming ranged attacks, but we can go higher. Her noble stance consumes all remaining AP and
Noble stance. Final action, all AP, selected area, increase deflection by defending in place against blaster attacks. Any blaster attack from the selected direction is reflected if Telria blocks it. Increase deflection chance by 10% for each action point used. Interesting. Why did you like the Shadow Lord series, Hex? What was good about it? What's up, gamer? I can't wait for this game to release, especially since you're an XCOM fan. Yeah, I've been playing XCOM recently, and I really come to enjoy it, dude. Really come to enjoy it.
Gives her another 10% deflection chance for every AP spent. Use all 3 AP while sitting at 6 harmony, and you're potentially looking at an 84% chance to deflect incoming blaster fire from that direction. And if she successfully blocks while in noble stance, she reflects it back at the enemy. She's basically saying,
I was just thinking to myself, but what about melee attacks? But now I realize melee is probably pretty rare, right? Because it doesn't seem to be nearly as prevalent in this game as it was in XCOM 2. Shadow Lord was incredible. Shadow Lord was epic. Oh, okay. So it was definitely something worth seeing. Interesting.
Standing there saying, go on, shoot me. Then we have Lightsaber Strike. It can't be upgraded, but it scales with Harmony, gaining another 4 damage every stack of Harmony you currently have, while consuming 3 stacks with every strike. From my testing, it's the hardest hitting melee attack out of the gate without any additional melee attack. From my testing, while consuming 3 stacks with every strike. From my testing, it's the hardest hitting melee attack out of the gate without any additional investment.
Shadow Lord was dark and gritty and one of the best representations of Darth Vader out there. Really? First, it is Darth Maul. Second, it is some of the tightest animations seen in a long time. Third, it is Darth Maul. I just love the Darth Maul character and how it continues on after Clone Wars. Plus, introduces Darth Talon character, and she's a badass. Interesting. So is it the Clone Wars, that 7 seasons happens first, and then Shadow Lord is set after that? So do you get more out of Shadow Lord if you've watched the Clone Wars already? It's surprising how much melee there is in XCOM, frankly. Honestly, I like, half the time, I like the melee characters the most. Templar and Ranger, incredible.
But yeah, she's hitting people with 2 lightsabers while an assault is just smacking them with the butt of their blaster, so I'd hope so. And while upgrading Padawan training doesn't increase the base 30% deflection chance, every rank gives her something different.
Set them on fire.
First,
How's that
another
work?
meter of movement. And remember that.
Think it's after Rebels, so okay. Interesting.
That affects every movement action, and you can take up to 3 a turn. So if you spend all 3 AP moving, that's potentially another 3 meters in a single turn. Much better than it initially sounds. The next rank increases melee critical strike chance by...
Shadow Lord takes place between Clone Wars and Rebels and really links them together. Oh, okay. After Anakin became Vader and before Luke. Okay. Feel like they definitely made melee powerful because players wouldn't want to do it otherwise. Still feels unsafe. I love taking the risk, especially with Ranger.
10%. Then she unlocks her second meditation
Melee
slot, and finally
chance.
her third.
You can equip a second meditation. That's important.
You don't discover any additional meditations during the 18 cycle preview window, but I'd be very surprised if there aren't some extremely powerful ones waiting later in the game. Then there's Force Push. It does exactly what you'd expect. Target an enemy, launch them in a direction, and deal additional damage for every object they smash into along the way, or instantly kill them if you launch them off a cliff. Upgrading it increases the base damage, while the final rank also disorients the target, reducing their chance to hit by 20%. So even if you don't kill them, you've potentially neutered their next attack. And finally, we have her ultimate, Shockwave. For 6 advantage, finally, we have 20%. So even if you
could potentially focus on push instead of lightsaber melee attacks, and that would allow you to keep your harmony up high while still damaging enemies and contributing. So I could kind of use her as an alternative for uppercut, right? I think I kind of prefer uppercuts mechanics, to be honest with you, but she's going to get access to more powerful stuff as the game goes on. So maybe by mid-game, I'll like this a little bit more. But as it stands right now, I think she's probably on my B team. And Uppercut is A team as far as, because I definitely want someone who's capable of pushing people around. And right now it seems like it's between the two of them. I feel like I prefer Uppercut for that. And I wonder if this is the type of game where you really need a tank. And so right now, my A team is probably Trip, Uppercut, and the Executioner. I can't remember her name right now. And Telria will be on the B team. But we'll see how it goes. Swords over guns. There's just so much more aura when you have a flaming sword that a flaming gun just doesn't have. This is true. I totally agree. All subjects, but did you ever check out Terra Naught? I played the demo and really enjoyed it. I know the full game is out. I've not played the full version of the game. There's been too much stuff out that I had to play, and honestly, I don't feel like I'm going to get around to it, but maybe I will. I also felt like the reviews on it were kind of middling, where it didn't seem like it was one of those games that I really had to play. But have you checked it out at all? Do you have thoughts on it? No, push, like force push. Yeah, I understand, Bunny. It's something that forces enemies to move. Same way Uppercut can force enemies to move. So if I want to push them off ledges or push them into objects, force push is going to allow me to do that. I get it. Jay Mordan. There we go. Yeah, she's the one. Out of everyone we've seen so far, I feel like Jay is the one that I'll pretty much want on my team as often as possible. I really, really like that executioner mechanic. I think that's super, super cool. Didn't get it either because of the other games coming out. Yeah, too many games, not enough time, especially if you're covering them.
Don't kill them, you've potentially neutered their next attack. And finally, we have her ultimate, Shockwave. For 6 advantage, Tal unleashes the force in a circle around herself, damaging nearby enemies and throwing them far backwards. As long as you have the advantage, you can keep using
Phoenix, I think I'm leaning towards Soldier for Hawks. I really love the idea of being someone who can both run in and melee enemies, and also I could be someone who can pull out a rocket launcher and blow them into smithereens. That is kind of appealing, to be honest with you. Kind of appealing. Hope they have vibro blades. I love that you had those before lightsabers and KOTOR. Yep. Strong memories.
And the final upgrade of which actually grants harmony for every enemy hit, meaning you can push Telrea beyond the 6 harmony she normally starts with. It's a fantastic get off the button, but it's arguably an even better crowd control tool. Tel wants to get into the middle of a fight, she wants enemies looking at her, she wants to rush objectives, hold positions, and force the enemy to deal with her. And Shockwave gives her another tool to do exactly that. She has 3 other investable abilities that are only able to be invested into after dual specializations unlock after cycle 18. Instead of Tal getting to pick another specialization like the other characters do, she gets to invest in the following. Force Pull, dragging enemies towards her while dealing 12 damage, each rank increasing the damage. Then there's Lightsaber Throw, another ultimate, giving her a much needed ranged option. For a massive 10 advantage, she throws both lightsabers in a line, dealing 10 damage to everything caught in their path while benefiting from lightsaber damage bonuses, and also consuming all stacks of harmony for bonus damage up to 8 per stack, which yes is massive. Then we have Elegant Weapon, a passive.
Trick starts as a soldier. I guess that does make sense. But no, I'd change him to a heavy probably. I'd change him to a heavy. Yeah, respecting to heavy is a good idea. That's the route I would go
Which increases critical damage and critical chance with her lightsabers, each rank increasing that amount. Like all Jedi, she can perform vertical jumps without needing ladders or climbing points, which dramatically improves her battlefield mobility. Now, after hearing all this, Telrea sounds absolutely ridiculous. A Jedi with lightsabers, force abilities, massive melee damage, crazy deflection, and potentially 2 different abilities that feel like ultimates. Surely she's mandatory. Not really, and I actually think it's one of the best things about Zero Company's design. Cab can have more melee attacks than her, assaults can potentially move further than her, heavies can absorb much more punishment than her, and personally I think a soldier's rocket is a much more flashy 10 advantage investment than lightsaber throw. Telrea is powerful, she's incredibly fun, she's a Jedi, she lives out that fantasy, but at least right now, she doesn't make the rest of your operatives obsolete. You aren't forced to bring her simply because she has a lightsaber, and that's exactly how it should be. Clay is a mysterious Mandalorian warrior from the...
I love Mandalorians. Love Mandalorians. This is the only thing that makes me sad here. There's no romances. I was looking forward. I thought me and Clyde was going to be permanently tag teaming it up, but that's fine. She's probably going to be on my A team. Both is blind, so we're a Republic wetwork team. Are there other factions that we have to deal with? Yeah, there's a cult worshiping the Sith that we have to take down. A Keldor would be so damn awesome. A lot of cool non-human looking species I'd have loved to see. Keldor, Nongri, Trandoshan. Ooh, Trandoshan. Very nice. Very nice. Absolutely. Position control, force push and pull would be very powerful in an XCOM-like game. Yeah, seeing more of that footage, she might be on the A team. We'll see. Because I also feel like she on some level would fill Trick's position. I mean, maybe she's the one who should be the tank-like character instead of Trick. I don't know. We'll see. It'll probably also depend on their personality, whose banter I enjoy more as well.
Ancient clan of vermin.
Whereas with Clyde, I don't care about whatever Clyde's banter is, whatever their voice is. Frankly, whatever their mechanics are, she's a freaking Mandalorian. She's coming with me. Because I'm pretty sure I saw footage of her using the jetpack, right?
She's joining Zero Company for one reason. She wants your help taking down difficult bounties, though she won't reveal which. Like Tal, Clyde has a completely unique specialization that cannot be changed.
Okay,
she's a Mandalorian warrior. Her Mandalorian armor gives her +3 base defense, meaning she flat out blocks 3 damage from every hit, right?
So she's tougher than most, gains a base defense of 3 and a jetpack, allowing her to execute free vertical transitions similar to a Jedi. Very nice, very nice.
From the start. She also gets a jetpack, making vertical transitions free. But the jetpack becomes much more interesting when combined with her unique talent, Combat Jump. For just 2 advantage and 0 AP. Talent, Combat Jump. For just 2 advantage, she also gets a jetpack, making vertical transitions free. But that jetpack becomes much more interesting.
Here we go. Ruthless. Clyde's crit damage has been increased by 2.
Interesting when combined with her unique talent, Combat Jump. For just 2 advantage and 0 AP.
Combat Jump. Location and range. Jump to a target location, pushing nearby enemies out of position. Jump up to 14 meters. This ability does not trigger enemy overwatch or retaliation. What does it mean pushing them out of position?
This is a jetpack to leap to a target location and shove nearby enemies out of the way. This might actually be one of the best positioning abilities in the game. Do you need to capture an objective? Clyde can fly there. Enemies standing near a ledge, land next to them and...
That's insane! That's insane! Yo! I like it. I like that quite a bit. That's crazy. That's really crazy. Yeah, there is no mod support. So there might be mods, but it'll be people doing it on their own. Yeah, boom. I think it looks really strong. Maybe there's some melee weapons to use her as a tank. We might be able to use her as a tank, but it's not with melee. Has much been shown regarding the strategic layer base building of the game yet? I have seen nothing regarding the base building, but I've seen a whole lot of the strategies you use in combat, and it looks amazing. What's up, Ultron? Plo Koon could use Force Lightning as a Jedi. He was also, before his death, in the top 5. So getting his race as playable is nice. Hey, sounds good to me. Insane and beautifully done. Yeah, that looks awesome. Clyde is going to be a must-have on my squad.
Introduce them to gravity.
Must-have.
Need the high ground?
Wow.
Try it.
Wow.
And because Combat Jump doesn't trigger Overwatch or retaliation attacks, the enemies can't do much to stop you. Upgrades increase the range, while the fire rank also inflicts 4 stacks of burning on nearby enemies. The burning itself isn't particularly devastating, ticking for 4 damage and then...
Burning units suffer 1 damage for each stack when any action is taken. This damage ignores defense. The number of burning stacks is reduced by half when burning damage is taken. Okay.
2 then 1, but it's essentially free damage attached to an ability you're already going to use.
Yeah.
Clyde also has Ruthless, giving her +2 critical damage and eventually increasing that to +6. So anything that increases her critical chance, weapon mods, talents, her second specialization, which I'll get to soon, whatever you can find becomes extremely valuable.
Wait. She has a second specialization? Wow. That's interesting. Did everybody else get it? Well, okay, so the other people we looked at, Jedi Padawan is stuck in one specialization, but she's going to get, I guess, access to more things as time goes on. And then the other people could switch between whatever specialization we wanted, right? But they said we could switch between whatever specialization we wanted, but it didn't say anything about mixing specializations. Does everybody get to mix two specializations together, or is it only the Mandalorian? You cannot change the gender and look of any of the companions, Ultron, but you can change your main character's gender and look. And when you create mercenaries, you'll be able to choose whatever gender and look you want for them. I'm sorry, you cannot change the gender of your companions, but I think you might get customization options as far as their look. The base building is pretty minimal, nowhere near the level of XCOM. Okay, so that's why people haven't been showing it off. Regret nicer place before a romance that wasn't promised. Very little about base building. I do base building when I'm forced to get new cool stuff, but I could do without it.
Then we get to her electrical abilities. Electroweb Dart costs 2 advantage shocks.
Fires an electrified dart that shocks the target and can be detonated by Electroweb Surge. Oh, which is another ability. Okay, so this is a single enemy. This ability, again, does not trigger enemy overwatch, and it ignores evasion. Wow, she's super cool. She's really, really nice. What's up, Drummer? I haven't seen any female Hawks gameplay on YouTube. Yeah, that's a good question. I don't feel like I have either. But then again, maybe the early version that people received didn't allow them to change up their Hawk like that. I don't know. The base 8 classes, Hawks and Creator Operatives, get a starting specialization and can add a second layer in the game. All third companions have one specialization, but they're way more in depth. Okay, interesting. Cool, let's nerd out on Star Wars for 70 few beers. Glad you're having a good time, Tony.
Single target, halves its movement and ignores evasion. By itself,
very interesting.
Okay, I guess. The important part is that targets hit by Electroweb Dart can then interact with Clyde's
Surge areas. Emit electrical blast around Clyde and each enemy with a dart. These blasts ignore defense. Targets in multiple surges take extra damage. How does that work?
Electroweb Surge. Before advantage, Clyde creates an electrical blast around herself and a blast around every enemy tagged with Electroweb Dart. And those blasts ignore defense. These abilities really need to be considered together. Individually, they're fairly mediocre. Together, they can be devastating. With 10 advantage, you can tag 3 different enemies with darts, then activate Electroweb Surge, detonating blasts on all 3 around them individually, potentially dealing even more damage if enemies are close enough for those areas to overlap, chaining the burst. Which brings us to Clyde's biggest weakness.
Why isn't she losing any action points when she does that, though? The whole time, she still had 3 action points to use. I don't understand how that's working. So wait, did it mention an AP cost? So ADV 1 Electro Dart. It can't be that you could just use this for free. That'd be crazy. And yeah, Advance 1. Her voice actor for Femhawks is Emily Caldwin from Dishonored 2. Ooh, that's nice. You get to select the second specialization after 18. Awesome. What's up, Cole? Both those abilities use advantage, not action points. Oh, I think I missed that. How do you stack up advantage again? I think I must have missed that part. Advantage is used to power special actions. Each time an operator damages an enemy unit, the squad receives 1 advantage. So advantage is a squad-wide resource that the Mandalorian can use. So if it's not used by the Mandalorian, what is it for? What does advantage give them? Interesting. Very, very interesting.
To be considered together. Individually, they're fairly mediocre. Together, they can be devastating. With 10 advantage, you can tag for those areas to overlap.
Is a squad ride resource for all ultimates. Oh, so this is her ultimate, And then we saw the lightsaber throw thing. That was the Jedi Padawan's ultimate. And I guess the other companions got ultimates as well. Oh, I didn't realize. Okay.
Chaining the burst, which brings us to Clyde's biggest weakness. She's selfish. Exactly like what I expect from a cocky Mandalorian warrior. Almost everything she does consumes your team's shared advantage. And if you're bringing Clyde but refusing to let her spend it, you're not really getting the full benefit of bringing Clyde. So that's where your squad composition becomes extremely important. Pair her with a scout, which I covered in my specializations breakdown, and you can focus on generating advantage specifically for her. Hell, why not bring 3 scouts and 1 Mandalorian? What could possibly go wrong? Her mobility is fantastic, her critical hits can become nasty, and with enough advantage, she can have some absolutely enormous turns. But for someone who doesn't exactly scream team player, she desperately needs her team. Even Astromech can help her by feeding her additional action points, letting her fly around the battlefield, unload her weapons, and genuinely become an absolute menace. Remember, making an attack on an enemy using your AP generates, at the very least, 1 advantage, so you can keep flying around. So is the unique Mandalorian specialization a must-have? Absolutely not. If anything, Clyde requires more support than Tal. And even with that support, it's not like another specialization, say Gunslinger, can't put out comparable or even greater damage. But if you love abusing positioning, burning through advantage, and setting up one massive turn where Clyde goes absolutely ballistic, she's made for you. But then, once you unlock dual specializations, she gains the ability to add any of the 8 to her repertoire, meaning you can make her a sharpshooter, you can make her an assault. Hell, you can even make her a scout so she's self-fueling. What I did is I made her a heavy, so you get right up into enemies' faces, you taunt, you take advantage of her extra armor, and you make sure the whole team is safe. So I gave up self-fueling her abilities to make her the ultimate team player. Speaking of fueling, Luco is a sharp...
Okay, I like her a lot, but I'm almost wondering if she needs to be on the B team. She seems like she needs to be the #1 focus when you play with her. And I'll probably want my character to be the #1 focus. But I assume there's like a tired mechanic or something similar in this game that kind of forces you to use different people, similar to XCOM. Maybe there's not. But if there is, I feel like she's going to be the captain of the B team. And I'll just construct a team pretty much around feeding her action points, making sure she's protected, and all of that good stuff. But I'm probably not going to want to have my A team revolving around just giving her everything that she wants. We'll see. What if she gets locked when engaged in melee? Good question. 100% yours would be a sharpshooter focused with vertical movement. That makes sense. The stages do look really cool. But Slander wants to fund all of his resources to the Mandalorian Huntress. I'm going to make your Hawks a medic heavy combo to taunt everything, then drug himself so much he can't feel everything. Hey, that makes a lot of sense, Drummer. That makes a lot of sense indeed. I know that I'm definitely not going to be a sniper because that's pretty much what I want Jay Morant to be, and she's definitely on my A team. I'm thinking I'm also not going to be a tank type of character. I'll probably have Trix on my A team, and he's going to fill that role. Either him or the Padawan. I think both of them will be like my main frontliner, run in, draw all of the attention type characters. So who's on the A team, who's on the B team, I don't know, but I know I'm going to keep them separate. I'm not going to have them on the same squad. And so that means I still need someone who's like the explosives person who could just pull out a rocket launcher or throw a grenade and blow up a bunch of enemies, right? And that might end up being what my guy is, the soldier. I was really leaning towards that, but we'll see. I know there's like actually 8 different specializations, so it seems like there's some more variety in all of these mechanics that I'm not really getting or seeing yet. Luco is a sniper too. Yeah, he's probably going to be my B team sniper. Sound like your allies can be pre-made because of what happens in the narrative story part of the game. Yeah, it seems like it. We'll see. What's up, Dice? How are you,
Tung
dude?
Umbaran, who's very much at odds with the Republic,
Take
which
care,
actually
gamer.
makes things interesting
Appreciate you
between
stopping
him
by,
and
man.
Trick. But Zero Company isn't technically a Republic operation, so separatists are welcome. I'm particularly interested in seeing how their relationship develops as they fight together and increase their bonds. Luco is unlocked relatively late, around cycle 18 during our playthrough, so unfortunately, I didn't get much time to experiment with him. He starts as a sharpshooter, although you are free to change
Anakin's on
that. His
this
unique
team.
talent is combat gas. At rank 1 for 2 advantage, Luco gains 2 stacks of sharpened senses. Each stack increases his chance to hit by 5% and his ranged attack damage by 1. One stack is
Gases harvested from Imbara temporarily enhance the senses, increasing chance to hit by 5% and ranged attack damage by +1 per stack. One stack expires after each ranged attack. So he's getting a 25% increase to hit chance and a +5 bonus to attack damage. That is significant.
consumed every time he performs a ranged attack, and combat gas can only be
Increase Overwatch chance. Oh, he's an Overwatch specialist. Is it that nice?
activated once per battle. So
Plus 10% chance to hit bonus on all blaster
essentially,
attacks.
at the beginning of a
Cool.
fight, Luco
and
huffs the good stuff,
specifically hates
and for
droids.
his next
That's
several
interesting.
attacks, he's significantly
Okay.
more accurate and hits harder. This can be boosted all the way up to 6 stacks. We're talking an additional 30% chance to hit and 6 additional range damage, which is enormous. Now, looking at this,
Absolutely.
you probably think, okay, obviously he's a sharpshooter, and you wouldn't be wrong, but I don't think it's quite that simple, because almost every specialization benefits from shooting harder and more accurately. Even a medic is going to fire their weapon occasionally, and when they do, making sure you actually land your hit and do respectful damage is extremely valuable. Gunslingers need to land their attacks to trigger some of their bonuses, getting their AP back. Scouts benefit, soldiers benefit, basically everyone benefits, because activating combat gas doesn't consume an action point. Luco can activate it on turn 1, reposition, and still fire a long arm for 2 AP. Potentially
That's
deleting
nice.
a B2 battle droid or something even
What's up,
nastier
Caspi?
before the fight has properly started. Interestingly, there's some anti-synergy with the Sharpshooter Ultimate because that attack already always hits and will still consume a stack. So part of combat gas is essentially wasted on it. Personally, I'd be really interested to change Luco into a scout. Their ultimate becomes much more powerful the more advantage you have, but most importantly, it can miss. Luco helps solve that problem, but regardless of how
I
you
wonder
build
if
him,
it makes sense to concentrate on everybody's ultimate, or if it really makes more sense to just choose one companion on your team and say, this is the ultimate guy, and everybody else just use their regular base mechanics. I also wonder if that rocket launcher is an ultimate attack, because if so, I'm probably going to be the rocket launcher guy, and all of the ultimate points are going to go into ensuring that I can do what I want to do. Gonna make
I think he's going to
all the
be
drugs.
extremely
Nice.
useful, more accuracy,
What's up,
more damage,
Jacob?
no
Yeah,
AP. It's
XCOM
very
with
hard to go
lightsabers.
wrong with that. Finally, we have Astro Mechs. Now, technically,
Rocket is a
these
soldier
aren't
ult.
authored companions.
Yeah,
You
I
create
think
them
that's the
yourself
way to
after
go.
building the repair bay, but I'm including them here because they effectively
That's a
have their own
sick
unique
design.
specialization and play completely differently from every other operative in the game. Astro
Okay.
Mechs can't equip blasters.
Wait. What we got going on here? What we got going on here?
Unique specialization and play completely differently from
Built-in comm link. You can grant one ally plus 1 action point. Operators cannot have more than 3 action points, and this cannot affect locked operators. I wonder what locks you. Maybe it's because you haven't taken your turn yet. Interesting.
every other
Conduct a self-repair routine that repairs 50% of your health. Adds 25% repair per extra APU.
operative in the game. Astro Mechs can't
Interesting. All affected enemies are scanned, negating all defense and making those enemies easier to hit. So you're all about buffs, debuffs,
equip
and
blasters.
healing, it seems
Instead,
like.
they can
All
carry
operators
3
get
different
one
utility
action
items,
point.
and later upgrades give
And you can jump vertically without restrictions. Look at that.
them additional charges for those items. So you're essentially
The game looks very interesting. I'm just so skeptical because, EA. I don't blame you, Vossavux, but I have a lot of trust in Firaxis, and a lot of the old Firaxis devs moved over to Bit Reactor. So my hope is that this turns out well, but we'll see. Use all ults as needed. Makes sense. I think composition where you have a bunch of advantage generations to spam ult on a single character, like non-stop rocket launcher from Tricks.
Essentially building a rolling support
Makes
platform
sense.
filled with grenades, healing, and whatever other horrible surprises
We'll
you can
wait for your
cram
first
inside
review.
it. But because they don't have a
Hey,
basic attack of their
I
own,
won't
they
let
get
you
something
down.
even more
Don't
interesting.
worry.
They can give an
I'm
action
trying to
point
get it
to
out as soon as
another
possible.
operative. And that can be extremely powerful. Have a sharpshooter who
Crazy.
desperately needs one more
a
AP
very,
to
very
fire
interesting
twice,
setup.
use your astromech. Need someone to travel just a little bit further and capture an objective? Well, you have your astromech. Have Cly ready to go absolutely berserk and just want to enable
what
the
the hidden
carnage?
class
Yeah,
is?
astromech.
We'll
They
find
feel
out
incredibly
soon.
powerful as support characters, and I'm struggling to imagine many
So what
squad
is the-
compositions that wouldn't benefit
ran
from
all
having at
operators,
least
2
one.
action
Of
points.
course,
That's
you
crazy.
can make an entire
Okay.
squad of astromechs. I just hope you finish killing everything before the grenades run out. Also note they unlock an extra passive ability and ultimate when you unlock dual specializations. So that's every authored companion plus the humble astromech. And after breaking down all the specializations in my last video and looking at these characters individually, I think one of the most interesting things is just how much freedom the game gives.
Yeah, it gives you a ton of freedom for sure. Ton of freedom. So I think my main team is going to be Jay, Tel Rhea, myself as a soldier, and then I think I'll go with Cab uppercut. I think that's going to be the A team, and then the B team is going to be Trick, Cly, and Luco. That'll be my B team squad, and then I'll definitely be sure to create a third squad of folks who can jump in as needed. And we'll stick a droid on that squad. It's good you could preview the abilities in each tree to plan your build. Yep. Giving other characters more access, that is a super powerful. It is. It's giving me strong officer rogue trader vibes. For sure. I don't know if I missed it already, but can you create your own character? You sure can. Yep. Create your own character. There are several races you could choose from. You can be male or female. You can choose your own class. All great stuff for sure. All right, now let's circle back and look at every class being explained so I can confirm if soldier is really the class that I want to play. So first up is assault. Open fire. Fire 2 times at any combination of enemies. Interesting. Fire a lightning fast sidearm pistol shot. Increases operators crit chance for all ranged attacks by 6%. And wait. So I'm sorry. Open fire is the ultimate. Fire 2 times in any combination of enemies. Fire a lightning fast sidearm pistol. Increases this operator's crit chance for all ranged attacks by 6%. Each attack within a single turn grants this operator +1 blaster damage. This bonus applies only to attacks with this operator's primary blaster. Okay.
These advanced specializations can't be changed by the characters that come with them. So far, Tel Rhea is locked into her Padawan specialization, and Cly the Mandalorian is locked into her Warrior specialization. Astromechs are also locked into theirs. There is likely other secret ones we have yet to reveal. Each character has a talent. Hawks has Fearless Leader, and this can't be changed. All authored characters
Right. Okay, so yeah, they all had their own talent. So your main character does get one. That's cool. When Hawks is present, he increases assist damage by +2. What is assist damage? And defense by +2 for all operators. Well, that is extremely useful. So that means if you have Hawks and the Mandalorian on the same team, the Mandalorian actually gets a defense of 5. All damage against her is reduced by 5. That's kind of freaking crazy. That's actually really crazy. I mean, I wonder if that's enough extra defense where when you use her properly, you don't even need a heavy. You don't need a full tank. She just runs in, plops down right in the front line, blowing up their plans, and then just goes to town. Wow, that's crazy. That's crazy. What's up, Ravi? Oh, it's my pleasure, man. This is helping me a lot too. Where this cursor is on assault, but those are the gunslinger abilities. Yeah. Oh, you know what? Maybe
that
you'll
can't be
circle
changed. For example, Cab Uppercut has his signature uppercut attack. However, custom characters' talents can be freely changed. When you click on change specialization, you can see there are 10 talents to choose from as well. Note that each operative can equip any of the 4 weapon types, which are pistol, rifle, long arm, and repeater. The astromech and the Jedi are exceptions to this rule, with the astromech not being able to equip any weapon, instead of getting more slots for utility items like grenades, and the Jedi Padawan getting lightsabers and access to Force meditation instead of utility items. So if you're
I'm kind of disappointed Trick doesn't get access to that Stormtrooper minigun heavy repeater that I feel like he should have.
Sharpshooter, you aren't locked into the long arm. You can have that specialization use a pistol if you want. This opens up a lot of build combinations. Specializations come with around 4 abilities. An ultimate that costs advantage, a standard ability that you can use in battle, and 2 passives, one of which you can invest into. You can invest into 3.
Hold on one second, my brother's calling me. Yo. Oh, Mom, what's up? What do you so I will swing by tomorrow morning before before your TV person is supposed to come, Mom, and we could take a look at it. And if there are changes that need to be made, I can try to help you real quick and make them. I'm streaming right now, but I'll swing by. I'll try to swing by tomorrow morning. Okay. No problem. Love you, Ma. Bye. I didn't end the stream. What's wrong, Logical? Did I press something? Nah, stream's still going on. Should be at least. Wookiee's probably a DLC down the road since there's no sign of them now. Yeah, I haven't seen any Wookiees whatsoever, and I thought that was a very odd omission as well. So not sure what that was about, but
total pass for each specialization using focus points. You earn these by taking combat missions as rewards for
oh, this is the melee attack he was talking about. No XCOM today, because I wanted to make sure I'm prepared for Zero Company when it comes out. So we'll watch the Zero Company videos. Bull Rush. Charge into an enemy, dealing melee damage and pushing it backwards. This action's movement range is increased by 5 meters, plus 5 impact damage for each object struck. Now, the difference, but Uppercut refunded all of the points you spent if you killed the enemy. So Uppercut is basically a better version of this, but he was also talking about you could switch jab over to an assault character if you wanted to give him an extra melee attack, which would probably make sense. Interesting. He could basically be a guy who just runs around punching the crap out of enemies. And to be honest with you, I don't think that's a bad idea. Okay. Very cool. Very, very cool. I do what I can, Jovi. Any gun? Nope. I haven't seen any guns so far, Cavalier. What's up, Dave?
Operatives, or as rewards for bonding with other operatives.
Oh, okay. So there are bond.
You can invest into 3 total pass for each specialization using focus points. You earn these by taking combat missions as rewards for operatives or as rewards for.
Okay, so neutral 5, neutral 4. Okay, so there it's ticking away this way. Interesting.
Bonding with.
Freeform training. Both operators gain an additional +2 focus points. What are focus points? Grenade training. Increases grenade damage by +1 for both operators. Precision shooting games. Increases crit damage by +1 for both operators. Interesting. Okay.
Other operatives. Each tier is more expensive than the last, with the final tier usually gives.
What up, Kicker? How are you, dude? Hey, Slant, just found your channel. I'm psyched for this game. Hope it's good. Star Wars XCOM sounds like a killer combo. I 100% agree. Very, very excited for this, man. I'll definitely be streaming it day one on Thursday. So if you haven't already, go ahead and definitely follow me over here on Twitch, man. The streams will be coming steadily. Sweeping salvo. Unleash aggressive blaster fire that deals damage and disorients all enemies within a large cone. What does disorientation do? Slater Ray, what's up, dude? Appreciate you following me over on Twitch.
Giving the ability a bigger upgrade, but not always. Later on in the game, after cycle 18, you'll unlock the ability to give your operators a second specialization, really opening up.
Focus points are used to level your skills. Oh, that's interesting. So it allows you to get a couple of more things. Oh, that's actually kind of cool. That makes bonds really, really important then.
Doors for combos. Sick. So keep that in mind while
I think this is a female Hawks that we're looking at right now.
We go through them all.
No Jawas
so
that I've
with
seen.
The assault,
kicker.
We have their passive, strike the flanks.
Strike the flanks. Okay, so we're still on assault. Awesome.
This operator gains a 20% crit chance bonus against exposed enemies.
Yeah, he's very
You'll learn what exposed is at the start of the game, but it's when the operator has a line of
full cover and half cover in this game as well. That concept still exists.
This operator gains a
exposed. Targets are considered exposed when they are not protected from the attack by cover. Some enemies do not use cover and bonuses do not apply. Oh. So they're only exposed if they're their type of character who usually would be behind cover. That's interesting.
20% crit chance bonus against exposed enemies.
I'm very psyched for this game as well. Full cover and half cover reduce chance to hit. To improve your chance to hit, look for advantageous locations and move your operators accordingly. Move trick to the highlighted position. Okay, makes sense. Usual stuff. Same as XCOM. Disoriented enemies can't attack on their turn. That's super powerful. That's very, very powerful. Okay, awesome. What's up, Kat? How are you, man? Kika, appreciate you following me over on Twitch.
Exposed is at the start of the game, but it's when the operator has a line of sight, not blocked by cover against his target, or if your scout specialization has taken a shot against him. It applies to any attack, including your melee. 20% is no small amount, considering you can upgrade your crit chance and damage through the joint training you can do.
So why is this neutral? It's a bond again. And it's between different characters, but it's got completely different bonuses. What decides the bonus that they get? That's interesting. Conflict resolution. Both operators work through some of their differences and gain plus 40 bond XP. Interesting. Increases Overwatch damage by plus 1 for both of them and increases range damage by plus 1 for both of them. What is that based on? I wonder if it's based on what class they are? Like, how does the game decide which specific bonuses the bond is going to provide?
When your bond reaches a certain level. The assault's
bonds are completely random? You might be right, Wine Guy.
Passive is Fleet of Foot. At the start, it increases your first movement by 1 meter. I found that movement range is very important in this game, and in the beginning, characters feel like they need to invest an entire turn to get anywhere, so extra movement is valuable. This passive can be increased 4 times up to 3 meters, which is much more noticeable than it sounds. The assault's ability is a melee action called Bull Rush.
Is neutral the current bond between these characters? I don't think so. I think you have to build up to neutral, because definitely some of the bonds start as hostile. The bond level is neutral. Working together increases bond levels, right? What's up, JV? Writing custom characters and making them killable is definitely a decision of all time. Can't wait to obsessively reload. That's a lot of people who like Ewoks. Most people were kids when they first saw the movie. I have no issues with Ewoks whatsoever.
Activating it, you get a bonus 2 meters of movement and look to charge into an enemy, pushing it backwards an amount and dealing 4 impact damage if that enemy hits anything. It's extremely useful to be able to melee in this game because it can't miss and it gets your strike the flanks
attacks
bonus.
Do not miss.
Also, being able to push means that yes, you can bull rush enemies off cliffs and instant kill them. This ability can be upgraded 5 times, each rank increasing its base damage and bonus movement range up to 8 meters. So along with fully upgrading your fleet of foot, your first movement will be 11 meters extra, which is often the full length of many combat arenas. This means with a single action point, you can traverse the map and bull rush a target. Usually moving and attacking will take at least 2 action points, and getting that far usually takes 3 action points. Finally, we have the Assault's ultimate sweeping salvo. It consumes a low for advantage.
Disoriented units suffer a negative 20% chance to hit penalty on all attacks. So they can still attack, it's just much less likely they'll hit with it. There we go. Bro got so punched into water. The Old Republic MMO had a recruitable companion that was a Jawa. Really? That's interesting. I wonder which class you had to choose in order to get that companion. I only played through as a Jedi Knight. And did I get all the way through? I think I got all the way through, but it was like in the launch version of the game before there was a lot of DLC and other updates.
To use rather than an action point. In a cone, the Assault sweeps an area with blast of fire, dealing damage and disorientating.
The more I watch this, the more it seems like the XCOM Chimera Squad game. Really? Boom. I never played that, and I haven't even seen any trailers from it, so I can't compare. What do you see as a similarity?
Enemies who are disorientated take a minus 20% chance to hit. This sweep benefits from upgrades to blaster damage, like from your weapon mods, has an effective range and can't critical hit. It can be upgraded 5 times, with each rank improving its damage and effective range,
so
with the last rank also removing the restriction on crits.
Hey, this is the heavy blaster attack that I felt like Trick should have, now that I think about it. I mean, but it still isn't using the heavy minigun that I really want him to have, but it gets in the pretty close to it. But let's see what Heavy provides. Heavy is what I think I would prefer he gets.
Meaning that this powerful sweep can now benefit from strike their flanks. It can be fired 3 times per combat with no turn limit, so if you have a way of generating advantage, you can do this multiple times a turn. The Assault's role in a fight is to be constantly moving, picking off exposed targets by pushing them off cliffs or into each other, and sweeping down groups of them to mitigate large amounts of damage.
Really feels
As
like
a
what
mobile specialization, they're also good at taking objectives and getting out, and you need someone on your team who can help with that.
That's so much damn fun. Bam, 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 bam. Boom, 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 boom.
The Gunslinger is next, and their passive Onslaught makes it so within a single turn, each time you fire your weapon, you get +1 blaster damage. The bonus only applies to...
So I wonder if you make Jay Marat a Gunslinger, when she does her automatic attack that kills an enemy, will it trigger that passive? Because if so, that could be really, really powerful. Very powerful. Yeah, that's true, Ultron. From everything I've heard, Chimera Squad wasn't particularly well received. XCOM fans don't speak about Chimera Squad. It never happened.
Their primary weapon, not the sidearm you use for quick draw or any other weapons you might slot into your utility slot. So you'll want to be trying to fire as much as possible with this specialization in order to rack up damage. Their investable passive is Keen Eye. It gives the operator +6% crit chance for range attacks. And
Steven, what's going on, dude? Thank you so much for the 1,000 jewels, man. I really appreciate it. Glad you're enjoying the stream, dude. There's a Mandalorian companion, and her jetpack is here. Hawks cannot be a Mandalorian. That's true. Battlefield seems decently big, roomy. Yeah, I like it. It seems like you got a lot of space to do what you want, and it seems like there's a nice variety. I don't feel like I'm seeing the same spaces over and over again. What's up, Flaming?
Can be invested into 4 times, increasing the chance all the way up to 18%. Considering how many attacks you'll be getting off with the Gunslinger, this means you'll be critting often. You'll do this with the Quick Draw ability. It has a 25% chance to hit penalty, but if you defeat an enemy with it, you restore the AP it costs to use it.
Or, you know what? Now that I think about it, since Jay's specialization really doesn't care what class she is, maybe I should make her the medic, because I didn't think about it. Nobody else on my squad was really set up well to be the medic. And that's probably going to be a problem for my B squad as well. I might need to make the droid the medic on the B squad.
So you approach a group of scrub enemies like the B1 battle droids and quick draw them all down, costing you no action points unless you miss. This will stack up onslaught stacks, and then when you use your basic attack it will be much stronger. Quick Draw has 5 ranks and each increases its base damage and reduces the hit chance penalty until the penalty vanishes completely, making Quick Draw just as accurate as your base attack. Open Fire is their ultimate and it costs 9 advantage instead of AP. It lets you attack your target twice.
Whoa, Steven! Thank you so much for the $50, dude. I really appreciate it, man. You deserve it, my friend. Man, thank you, man. Thank you. So glad you're enjoying the content, dude. Appreciate you. Appreciate all the support.
Or 2 separate targets. These shots have the bonus of onslaught applied, so if you quick draw down 3 targets, fire 3 times using all your AP, then use open fire, these shots will get a bonus of 6 damage each, and that's not an extremely rare situation to be in.
Oh, so no matter how much you built up your base damage, when you use the special action, the base damage is always going to be the same. Okay. The video you shared suggested making Hawks either a heavy or a medic. Yeah, I'm going to run through these videos and then I'm going to go to the link that you shared, Wine Guy. Interesting. Yeah, I'm thinking about potentially making him a medic because it doesn't seem like something that's filled out by anybody else, but I'm waiting to see what those mechanics actually look like. Cole, what's up, man? Appreciate you following me over on Twitch.
However,
dude.
I did find this ultimate without investment to not be quite as good as the others. However, with 5 ranks invested, it gets a 20% bonus chance to hit, and it fires 3 times, making it extremely powerful and flexible. This ultimate also has no use limit,
I don't like
so
my
it can
heavy
be used
tank
multiple
guy
times
using
a
this
turn.
little
The Gunslinger is great at taking out the masses, and once it does, it can follow up by taking out strong high-value targets. It takes some good positioning and the foresight to not just instantly clear scrubs with grenades, but a good gunslinger can do some serious work, especially with mods and utilities that raise its accuracy, or when you get the chance to do a specialized.
That's what I'm saying, Kicker. That's exactly what I'm saying. Like, where's that at? The heavy. All right, this is what
Next
I'm probably
is
going to
the
make
heavy.
Trick into.
It has heavy armor training, which naturally gives this operator +2 defense, meaning that attacks coming in will be reduced by 2. It also has a bonus passive, Intimidating Posture. It makes it so the operator's primary blaster attack now taunts the target on hit. Taunting targets force them to attempt to attack you, so there are some shenanigans you can do with it. You can equip a pistol and shoot 3 targets across the battlefield, keeping your team safe, or equip a long arm and hit a target from far away, forcing them to move from their advantageous position and try to run towards you, maybe even skipping all your allies along the way. The heavy's investable passive is Conditioning. It raises the operator's max health by 4, all the way up to 20. Their ability is Unstoppable. It makes it so you gain 2 stacks of Retaliation. If you're attacked, you burn a stack to counter-attack the enemy. Each rank increases the retaliation damage up to a bonus of 4. At the final rank, you can also cast this on an ally. So if one is particularly powerful and about to be attacked, it can be useful. Though the intention behind this ability is to taunt enemies and have them take the extra damage from the heavy, which is easier with their ultimate, Bulwark. It lets you taunt all targets in a large area, as well as increasing the heavy's defense by 2 for the turn. Each rank increases the effective range, as well as the amount of bonus defense up to 6. Keep in mind, early on, the scrub enemies like the B1 battle droids will not be able to burn through that much armor.
He keeps having people side by side, which makes me think maybe enemies don't use grenades, because otherwise I'm like, how is that possibly safe? This is why I want to be heavy. It's about
max,
control.
it also grants
Trust me,
the heavy
these games
impervious,
can get nuts,
which makes
being
them
able to
immune
focus
to
on
all
one
status
character,
effects,
taking all the
and
damage is very
immovable,
useful.
making
Yeah,
them unable to be pushed
should
around.
be able to modify
Later
what
on,
your
against
allies
more
use,
deadly
yeah, for
enemies,
at least some
this
of them.
can be invaluable. This ultimate can only be used once
What was
a turn,
impervious again?
so this can be.
What is impervious? This unit is temporarily immune to all negative status effects when he uses special action. Awesome.
And
Cole, hey, thank you so much for using your Prime over on Twitch, dude. Appreciate you, man. Glad you're enjoying the content.
Movable, making them unable to be pushed around.
Tanking is
Later on,
actually
against more deadly enemies, this can be invaluable. This ultimate can only be used once a turn.
Well, JV
so
Tricks,
the heavy is the tank of the group, allowing you to be a bit greedy with how you build your
when he
other
dies for
operators.
the first time.
The heavy can get the defenses so high they can, in many cases, take 0 damage from scrub enemies. Who needs heals and defense when you have one tanky guy absorbing it all?
That's why you didn't like Vanguard and Rotate. Vanguard serves no purpose. No purpose whatsoever.
Shot went wide.
Oh, wait. So you can retaliate even if the shot missed. That's kind of wild. Even if the shot missed, you still retaliate. I didn't notice that before. Super, super cool. Okay, here's the one I'm curious about. The medic. How does this work?
Especially if you have a medic on your squad. Their first passive is First Responder. It makes it so this operator is permanently equipped with a med pack that has 2 charges and doesn't use a valuable utility slot, meaning no matter what, medics can heal your team. They also fully heal operators when using Rally on them. When allies reach 0 HP, they're downed, and you revive downed allies by rallying them. Life-saving measures is their investable passive. It increases the amount med packs heal, yes, including your auto-equipped one, by 5% all the way up to 30%. Their ability Combat Stim is why you're here though. It throws a stim at the target ally for them to use on themselves, or you can use it on the medic. It grants a buff for 2 turns that increases max health and their damage. At the final rank, the buff lasts the entire fight, granting 3 bonus damage and 12 extra HP. Each rank increases the duration and the power of the buff. At the final rank, the buff lasts the entire fight, granting 3 bonus damage and 12 extra HP. This HP is granted like temporary health, so if you're currently at 1 HP, you'll go up to 13 when it's applied, making it feel like a heal as well. Using this and, well, anything that buffs or heals allies grants bond between the 2 operators. Bond is extremely important, yes, Commander, and medics seem to have an easy time raising it. So you might consider a medic on your team first, then changing them later on. What also raises bond but with the whole squad is their ultimate morale boost. For 7 advantage, you grant allies 4 stacks of morale. At the start of their turn, they'll heal for the amount of morale they have times 2, then 1 stack is lost. So at 4 stacks, they'll heal for 8, 6, 4, then 2 for a total of 20. At max rank, they'll get 10 stacks for a total of 110 healing over 10 turns. Also, morale makes it so operators ignore the chance to hit penalty from being injured. So at higher difficulties, where allies are being downed more often, this could really help them get through some tough missions, which is what the medic is about. Group buffs, keeping everyone healthy, and getting through missions through perseverance. Remember, in Zero Company, taking damage doesn't end with a squad mate automatically getting an injury on the end screen. They only get an injury if they're downed, so you can be a bit more risky with a medic on board.
Very interesting. Very, very interesting. Okay.
The Scoundrel's next.
I don't know if I would like that for my main character. I see how that could be very important, especially if we're going to play on higher difficulties, but I don't think I would want my main character focus essentially on buffing and healing. It doesn't hit the same without the extra turns that an officer would be able to provide. So but heavy looked really, really cool. I could see myself creating a heavy, but I don't know. We'll see. That meta looks like an excellent support character. I agree, for sure. And
its passive makes it so all of this operator's attacks penetrate the target's defenses, ignoring up to 4 points, making them hit harder against tanky enemies, even with the low base damage pistol. Their investable passive is Never Play Fair. It increases their assist damage by 1 up to 5 at max, meaning that when it's time to assist, you'll want to select your Scoundrel to do so. Their ability is Identify Weakness. It targets a single enemy and makes them vulnerable, making it so the next attack against them crits. So if you have a character with buffed up crit damage, having a Scoundrel make a target vulnerable may be a winning combo. Each rank increases its effective range up to the final rank, which instead makes the target vulnerable ×2, making the next 2 attacks critically hit, which works very well with their ultimate, Easy Mark. For 7 advantage, the Scoundrel marks a single enemy. If another ally attacks...
Assist your teammate on an attack. Most operators join the attack, but some operators provide bonuses on their teammates' attack.
This target, the scoundrel will
provide bonuses on their teammates' attack instead. You see a scoundrel sharpshooter doing big damage?
assist.
Yeah, definitely.
If the operator that attacks crits, the scoundrel will also crit. Marks do not expire at the end of the turn, so you can set up a crit combo that gets boosted by Never Play Fair. Each rank of this increases critical damage of the assist attack up to +6. The final rank also removes the once per turn restriction, meaning that you can now cast it again if you find a way to build up more advantage in that turn, possibly by using a scout, which we'll talk about soon. So this is a very powerful ability when fully upgraded, which is the Scoundrel in a nutshell. Overall, its kit sounds powerful, but it really shines with more focus
points. Hit the
points.
like button. If you're over on Twitch and you're enjoying the stream, definitely make sure you follow me. Obviously, this is a game I'm going to be covering and streaming very heavily in the weeks to come. I haven't seen anyone talking about it, but there are combo classes that do better if they work together. That makes sense to me.
The Scoundrel excels ultimately in burning down individual high priority targets, almost acting like the leader of the squad, marking what needs to die next. With some building around it, Scoundrels can be the glue that make your combo shine. Don't forget, by assisting a target, the operator that assists will never miss their shot.
Ooh, that was nice. Oh, wow, he did still hit him. It looked like he was hitting the railing. Okay, now we're getting to the scout, finally.
The scout is next, and its first passive is the Spotter. Dealing damage with their blaster applies Spotted to the enemy, similar to how the Heavy applies Taunt. Spotted makes it so any chance to hit penalties against that target from being too far away or being in smoke is removed. So you'll not receive distance penalties for using, say, a pistol against a faraway target if they're spotted, and you'll often see the 100% chance to hit pop up. Their investable passive is Tactical Timing. It grants a 20% chance to gain one.
Scoundrel ability to bypass defense could be big against bosses. I agree. 20% chance to gain. Oh, he's just going to rack up advantage? Isn't that interesting? There's a class that specifically allows you to just rack up advantage. Wow, this actually compared very nicely with the Mandalorian. You kill a bunch of the low-level enemies and then let Cly rush in and deal with the elites and the bosses with all the advantage available to her. That's very
advantage when the
interesting.
Spotter defeats an enemy. Any enemy, including the B1 droids. So you might start to see some combos come together with, say, the Gunslinger. Being together in a dual specialization, you can use Quick Draw against all the B1 droids, get the one advantage for hitting and the extra one for defeating them, and it's 2 advantage for no AP cost multiple times a turn. This is, of course, when you consider that at max rank, this gives a 100% chance for that one advantage. Their advantage generation doesn't stop there with their ability.
That's what you want to play as a scout? Interesting. Your weapon choice does not depend on class, JV.
Combat Recon. They can target an area. You get 1 advantage for each enemy in that area, and it reveals hidden enemies, which is more common than you'd think, especially with recoil. Each rank increases the range and area of effect up to
assesses threats and grant advantage for each enemy in the assessment area, grants +1 advantage for each assessed enemies, and reveals hidden enemies. Yo, this might be... Damn. This might be a requirement. But keep in mind, JV, the only exception to that is the companions. Some of them have unique classes that require weapons. Like the Jedi Padawan has to use her lightsabers. You can't give her anything else. And I think the Mandalorian, she's got the warrior class. I think she has to use her little blaster. You can't just give her anything that you want. Scout looks really, really cool. What's up, CJ? Have they shown anything with Anakin Skywalker? If he's just a cameo, my faith can be restored because it looks good. But the Skywalker saga just haunts me. It's hard to overlook. They have mentioned nothing else regarding Anakin Skywalker or his role in the game. So it seems like he might just be a cameo, but who knows? Wouldn't be surprised if gunslingers have to use pistols and the sharpshooters have to use snipers. No, I'm pretty sure that's not the case. I'm pretty sure it was mentioned already that any other class can use anything they want to. Bunch of scouts to make a certain party member spam a particularly strong alt. Yeah. I remember you saying that, Drummer. I just didn't know that there was a specific class that allowed you to just rack up advantage like this. Being able to just drop down an area of effect where a bunch of enemies are and get a truckload of advantage is super powerful. Super powerful. Okay, Cole, so you agree you can use any weapon that you want? Right, that's what I remember as well. It kind of reminds you of a rogue trader officer type. Wow. Except the special classes, the one that companions have. Nice. Get ready to start a rogue trader run at the worst possible times since this is coming out. Yeah, you're probably going to get interrupted. Man, Scout seems really freaking cool. Maybe I will keep Trick as a soldier, and he is going to be the rocket launcher guy because it's hard for me to imagine I'm going to let Scout go. Wow. Or I guess technically I could make Trick the Scout. I could switch him over to Scout, and I could still take Soldier. I don't know. We'll
24 meters.
Somebody on my team. Oh, wait. I could make Jay my scout. Damn. Wow. This whole process was supposed to get me to the point that I nailed down what I was going to do. And instead, it's just opened up a whole world of possibilities where I'm like, oh man, all of this would be so freaking cool. And I'm not sure I'm actually all that much closer to knowing exactly what I'm going to do. But man, this is really cool stuff. Really, really cool stuff. Why you say it would be an odd scout, Wine Guy? Because I don't feel like scouts have to work from far away. But I do feel like it would probably work better with Jay, though.
Is away and a 7-meter area. What do you do with all that advantage? Well, burn through it for a single powerful attack you can do once a turn. You spend all your advantage as long as you have at least 4 to shoot an enemy for bonus damage. 2.5 bonus per advantage spent, up to 5 per advantage at max level, meaning that if you spend...
Oh, so this uses all of your advantage. Okay. Each advantage increased by +5 requires at least 4.
10 advantage, you get 50 bonus damage, and I don't have to explain how good that is at boss murdering. So scouts can be built a few different ways, as snipers picking off high priority targets, or with pistols getting up close and spotting multiple targets, making it easier for everyone, including your snipers, to land those shots, or they can be used to generate massive advantage for your whole team to enjoy. I feel scouts will really come alive with dual specializations, as there's a lot of combos that will open up.
The sharpshooter. What's the deal with this?
The sharpshooter is your more traditional sniper specialization. Their first passive is sharpshooter training. It gives them a plus 10% chance to hit on their blaster attacks. So you'll find that this specialization just hits more often than everyone else. They're investable.
I know that Trick's passive is meant for tanky stuff, but at the end of the day, it basically gives them a free revive. And so, you know, there's a part of me that says, and I feel like Dantix might have even said this earlier as well, does it really make sense to go hardcore in a tanking skill tree when at the end of the day, even if he dies, he's just going to revive again with full health anyway? So it kind of gives you the freedom and flexibility where you could give him a class that has nothing to do with tanking because he already gets the ability to take whatever damage comes. The only thing I don't like about it is he wouldn't have the ability to taunt if I didn't make him a heavy, which means that it could be very difficult to ensure that enemies are focusing on him as the main priority target. And so that's why I probably would still make him a heavy, but otherwise I think he worked plenty good as a scout. Doesn't need to be for taking. It'd just be a free get out of jail free card for risky playstyle. Exactly. I feel like it could easily work either way.
Passive is Pick Them Off. It buffs your Overwatch chance and damage, starting at 5% and 2 respectively, and going up to 25% extra chance to hit and 6 extra damage, making a sharpshooter invested this way much better at overwatching than any other specialization. Their ability is Zero In. Cast it on yourself, you get 3 stacks of lethal, which increases your chance to hit by 5% and critical chance by 3% for each stack. Lethal is lost though if you move or are knocked out of place. Each rank increases the lethal stacks up to 8, which is a total of 40% chance to hit and plus 24% critical chance. Perfect for a sniper, but it also might get the numbers churning in your head. I used the gunslinger as an example before, so let's continue that train. Imagine spending an action point getting into position, then another using Zero In, then unleashing quick draws on enemies which now won't miss and has a high chance to crit. Then follow it up with a basic attack, then use your double shot ultimate for huge damage. There are so many more combos to think about, but I'll leave it to you to ponder. Their ultimate is Precision Shot, and it's perfect for those who hate missing. It makes the sharpshooter fire a shot that never misses. Simple. Each rank increases the base damage and critical damage, all the way up to 50% bonus at max. It can also be fired once a turn. The sharpshooter is a specialization focused around being a reliable damage dealer, aiming to shoot straight, land consistent damage, overwatch when it can't, and not do much else, because winning also means removing all of your enemies.
The Soldier.
Finally, we have the Soldier. Their passive is Arms Master, and it lets them do 2 extra blaster and grenade damage. Early on, this makes them stand out as great damage dealers. Their upgradable passive is Strength. It lets you throw grenades 2 meters further and
it increases melee damage and lets them throw grenades. Isn't that interesting? Wow. What's up, 2000s? That over-the-shoulder view is nice. I agree. So sharpshooter isn't necessarily a sniper. Yep, can be a mid-range gunslinger sharpshooter, whatever you prefer. There's going to be so many things to think about when you get your second class. Yeah, what combinations make the most sense? Increases melee damage by 4 and increases the throw range of all grenades by 4 meters. So you've got a rocket launcher, you're great with grenades, and you're great at melee damage. That's so interesting.
Deal 2 more melee damage, each rank increasing this until 6 meters and 6 extra damage. Not a small amount because once again, 6 meters feels a lot further than it sounds. Their ability, Brutal Strike, feels as defensive as it is offensive. It's a melee attack, but unlike Bull Rush, it doesn't add any distance traveled and doesn't push them back. So you might need to invest in some speed training to make the most of it. However, it does melee damage to the target and dazes them. A dazed target can't attack on their turn, so they might as well be useless. Each rank increases Brutal Strike's base damage, and the final rank stuns the target.
Dazed is the one that can't attack. Okay, interesting. What's up, Kami? I've been streaming for a couple hours, but you're still right on time. We know that it's at minimum 4, CJ. It's not clear if we can get upgrades that will increase the squad size to 6. So just the all-rounder, yeah. What's up, Flan? I've been waiting for this game since it was announced. Love XCOM-like games. I've recently found out I love the XCOM-like games, and that makes me even more excited for this, for sure. Yeah, I just love being able to pull out a rocket launcher and blow a bunch of people to smithereens. So that alone makes me really want to pick this up. But I think they mentioned Cab can be a soldier. I don't think he has like a unique class and a unique specialization that he's using. So the fact that his mobility issues are taken care of with uppercut, and then you could combine it with soldier, he's going to get an additional melee attack, and he's going to be able to use grenades and a rocket launcher. I feel like I really like that. I think I really like that, to be honest with you. And so I think actually Cab, Jay, and Trick is my main squad. Trick is going to be the tank, attracting the attention of anyone who we are not able to wipe out on our turn. Cab is going to run around to the people who can be easily knocked off of ledges and who are in faraway places where they think that they're safe. And then Jay is going to pick off any of those enemies who are left as we're whittling down damage. And then, so then the question becomes, what am I going to be? If Jay is the scout and Uppercut is the soldier and Trick is the heavy, I guess, should I be the gunslinger? Decisions. XCOM increased the squad cap halfway through the game, so I'll be surprised if they don't. I would certainly appreciate it. Having 2 melee abilities doesn't stack. What do you mean? He can't use Uppercut and then use Brutal Strike in the same turn. It won't let him do that. Cav can be a melee and heavy or a soldier. Yeah, so I'm thinking he'll be a soldier. The Jedi, I feel like, was going to be on my B team, B-Dub. Feel like most tactical RPGs like this tend to go up to 6 units. Wasn't sure if they confirmed it. They have not confirmed it as far as I know. Medic, gunslinger, or sharpshooter is what I think you should be. Yeah, I'm giving serious consideration to that gunslinger. Yeah. Troubleshooter and Crown Wars also gets you to 6 units eventually. Nice. I think gunslinger. I'm glad we only get 1 Jedi. I can't handle more Jedi slop in Star Wars. So Hawk can be any class, any of the standard classes. There are some unique classes that only companions can be, but outside of that, he can be any class. I think the movement cap would stop you from using 2 melee. Well, no, because remember, you can use action points to get more movement. And if you kill the enemy with Uppercut, then it refunds all the action points. So, and I'm pretty sure he said in the companions video that was an advantage of making Uppercut a soldier. Is that it gives you another melee attack to play around with. You know what? Now I want to know. Hold up. Let's go back. Let's go back and confirm if that's actually the way this works. I swear he said that.
Hey guys, Dad6 Star Wars Zero Company timing dialect, and Hooks lovingly refers to him as pushes towards an enemy, smacks them for melee damage, and sends them flying backwards. But here's the important part. If Cab kills the target, all the AP you spent using it is refunded. So Cab can spend the entire 3 AP crossing the battlefield, cave in some poor B1 battle droid's face, and get all 3 AP back, and continue his turn like nothing happened.
And then he moves again.
Considering scrub enemies like B1s are usually everywhere, you can effectively use them as stepping stones. That makes Cab one of the most mobile characters in the game. This is why I've personally changed him from Scoundrel to Assault. Assault gives him an additional movement bonus, another melee strike.
Oh wait, so he changed him to Assault. So it's not limited to just soldier or heavy. It looks like sounds like he can be whatever you want. My question is, why would you ever use the soldier melee if you have Uppercuts 1 already? Because I might have 2 separate enemies that both of them are easier to take out if I knock them off of a ledge. And Soldier would allow him to use grenades and rocket launchers, which I most certainly want to have at least one person capable of doing. People get injured, so I assume healing and resting time is going to be a thing, which means you'll need more than one. Absolutely.
With pushback, and because Cab is so good at getting himself in position, he can make fantastic use of the Assault cone-shaped ultimate. Increasing Uppercut's rank mostly increases its base damage, which is nice, but also means you can spend a lot of your focus points elsewhere and use the Assault tree to do the heavy lifting. Soldier is another great option. Soldiers get improvements to melee damage that they can boost.
Right, that's the other thing. It improves my melee damage, so uppercut is going to be even more
further,
powerful.
And they have a melee attack of their own that can daze. And remember, uppercut...
It doesn't push enemies back, but it does daze them, which means they can't attack. So if there's a boss enemy that I can't kill on that turn, I could daze him instead and essentially prevent him from doing anything while I try to wipe up all of his friends. There's possibilities here. Plus, it depends. If you want to finish someone off, you can use uppercut, but dazing is a brutal effect for something you can't kill in one turn. That's exactly what I just said, JV. Exactly what I just said. Not sure if you need both in one character, though. I feel like it makes sense to have him as he's clearly a melee specialist. So that makes sense to me. Uppercut
benefits from those melee damage bonuses. So for a relatively small investment, Cab can become an absolute monster, especially once you unlock dual specializations. But you can also get weird with him, because uppercut doesn't necessarily have to be treated as an attack. It can be a movement ability. One of the biggest problems Sharpshooter has is repositioning and having enough AP left to fire. Cab doesn't necessarily have that problem. If there's someone unfortunate standing near the high ground you want, uppercut them, potentially kill them, refund your AP, get into cover, and start shooting using your expensive long arm rifle. The same applies to guns.
But you know what? Here's the other thing though. Trick as my tank is probably consistently going to be closer to the boss level enemies or the high damage enemies I'm going to be the most worried about. It might make more sense to leave him as a soldier so that he has the flexibility to go ahead and daze those type of enemies when he wants to. There's something to be said for that as well. Interesting. Okay. All right.
Instead of dazing, making it even more defensive and offensive if you've got some combos in mind. Stun a high value target and follow up with some bullets to the head. Brutal Strike is a lot more useful than it sounds. If you're 1 AP worth of distance away, you can get right up close to a target and melee them for a single action point, shoot them, and then move forward. Remember, melee attacks count movement and attacking as a single action point unless more movement distance is needed. Their ultimate is by far the most flashy in the game. Rocket Strike absolutely devastates an area.
So with 10 advantage, you can now use Trick's Rocket Strike to turn the tide against the Separatist forces. Cab should be your flanker. I agree. Cab is the one who can run around and be like, hey, boop. So you have preset companions, but you can make a custom companion from scratch. That's correct, Damien. You get, I think, 6 or 7 preset companions, but there's a full ability for you to create mercenaries, and they can have different races, and you can make their armor all sorts of different interesting colors, and you can pick from amongst the classes or specializations as well. That rocket shot looks so good. Can't wait. Me either. So somebody's got to be able to do
damaging
this.
Everything in the blast. Each rank improves the already considerable damage, with the final also making the survivors vulnerable, which means that the next attack will crit, which I'm sure your extra long grenade range will appreciate, as another AoE will certainly finish off the stragglers. Unlike the other specializations, the soldier is hard to categorize. It has some great AoE with its ultimate, great all-around damage up close or medium range, and it can help you mitigate damage from priority targets. At the early stages of the game we got to play, the soldier felt very powerful in any team combination.
Right. Are you saying later on it doesn't feel powerful? Okay. Depends on how hard the taunt is. If you can stay far away and cover, taunt them, and they still attack you, a long range tank might be something you'd rather have. That's true. That's true. And he actually showed footage of that, using taunt as a way to pull enemies out of position. There's something he said for that.
Now, I've gone through all the specializations, so let's have a brief look at all the talents. Each have 3 stages to invest into. First is the bigger they are, and it gives you up to 6 bonus damage against elite or boss enemies, making the operative great to bring when you know there'll be elite or boss enemies. The next is anticipation, which lets you, for 1 action point, give this operator 1 stack of evasion, which makes the next attack against them
incoming cats automatically evade, and then once that
automatically miss. Each rank increases the amount of times a turn it can be used, with the final rank letting you cast it on allies, making this useful on support characters or those being a little more risky. Cold-Blooded is next, and it, like Anticipation, applies a buff to yourself for an action point. This time, the Vicious buff, which makes it so the next ranged or melee attack they make is an automatic critical. However, it can only be used once a combat, up to 3 times a combat at max level, which also gives you 2 stacks. Now, if an operator builds around critical damage, or if they're the sharpshooter using precision shot that gets that bonus 50% crit damage, then this can be very useful. Next is Taunt. With it, you can target a single enemy and taunt them once a turn. Each level reduces the damage they do as well, getting to -6 at max rank, making it so if there's a particularly deadly enemy on the battlefield, you might not need to bring a heavy if someone has this talent. Life of Labor is next, and it passively increases this operator's stats, starting with +5 health and +1 defense, and getting all the way up to +7 health, +2 defense, +4 melee damage, and +4 critical hit damage at max level. Really, you can make an argument for any specialization being able to use this, though I see assaults, heavies, and soldiers getting the most use out of it. Thievery is next, and it gives you bonus credits at mission's end if you use an operator with this talent in combat. It doesn't stack though, so you can't bring multiple thievery talents. At max level, it's +300 credits, so you are sacrificing some combat effectiveness for better rewards. Sabotage is next, and it lets you, once a combat, trigger an explosive object on the field anywhere for 2 advantage instead of using action points. Each rank increases the amount you can use this per combat, with the final rank making it unlimited. There are always explosive objects, but I haven't seen a situation where I needed unlimited uses. Espionage is next, and it's like Thievery, giving you more bonuses at end of combat. This time, it's Intel, which at least very early on, I found more useful because I like doing all the operations I can before they expire. These are the non-combat reward-based missions that need Intel to commit to. The first rank is a 5 Intel bonus, the last is 12. I tried an early team with operators that had Espionage and Thievery to see if it paid off, and generally speaking, the missions were not a whole lot harder, and I did start to notice the extra income, though I'm sure the difficulty will increase and become more noticeable as time goes on. Grit is next, and for 1 action point you can apply Invulnerable to the operator as well as give them an increase of 2 max health. It prevents the next damage done to you and then loses a stack. At max rank, it applies 2 stacks of Invulnerable and gives +12 max health. You might be asking, how is this not better than Anticipation, which just gives that dodge chance? Perhaps there are things that combo with Evasion, and also that can be applied to any ally at max rank 3 times a turn. Fortitude is last, and it increases their defense by 2 while the operator is injured. Injuries happen when the operator is brought to 0 HP and down. So maybe you want to put this on an operator when you are forced to play with an injured character. Though at max rank, you get 6 defense, and you don't get that chance to hit penalty when you have an injury. Plus 6 defense is huge, so maybe you purposely injure an operative and risk the permadeath on 3 injuries in order to get this huge defensive bonus. So those are the talents you can equip on your
let me see something.
Next is the head.
So wait, your ultimate is what taunts all enemies in the area. But wait, what is... I swear I thought...
Maybe even skipping all your allies along the way. The heavy's investable final rank.
I thought...
You can also cast this on an ally. So if one is particularly operates...
Conditioning. This increases max health. And then the talent, bigger they are. So wait, this can increase max health. And then the other one... I didn't realize, unstoppable. So wait. Okay, so right, that's unstoppable. And then I must have misread this. Hold on. Taunt all enemies in the area, forcing them to attack this operator. Also increase defense by +2 for the turn. I didn't realize that was his ultimate ability. Interesting. Oh, right. Shooting people also taunts them if you hit. That's the other way you can do it. Okay. Okay, so yeah, I'm thinking Trick has to go heavy for me because I want to make sure that more enemies are focusing on him. So Jay, Scout, Trick, heavy. And then yeah. As much as I love Mandalorians, I feel like she's gonna be very advantage hungry. So she's gotta be B team. So yeah. Jay Scout, Trick heavy, uppercut or cab rather, can play as the soldier. And I will play as a gunslinger. Or, you know what? There's a part of me that almost wants to switch that. I think maybe I will play as a soldier. Because I do like the idea of using uppercut for better positioning. Where he picks off one of those really weak sniper type enemies. And then it puts him in a great high up advantageous position. And then he could just fire on somebody else nearby. And then it all just sets me up to be able to run around and do whatever I want to do. And I can daze a really powerful foe if need be. Can you taunt enemies by hitting them with a grenade? If only. If only. Okay. This, I think, has given me what I need. Scoundrel also does stuff with melee, right? Could be good for uppercut. That's a good question. I don't remember Scoundrel doing something melee-wise. Hold on. Marks makes an enemy vulnerable. Increases the operator's assist damage. All the operator's attacks penetrate the target's defense. Yeah, Scoundrel doesn't have anything melee-related, but could still potentially be a good pick. I really like making an enemy vulnerable. Next attack to critically hit, it could be really, really powerful. Okay, that has given me what I need. I know which characters I'm going to play, and I know pretty much what classes I'm going to use. And we've already watched this. Now our more general video. So this says, watch this before picking specializations in Zero Company. This is Norza. I think he's just walking through all of them again, and we just went through all the mechanics. I feel pretty confident that we understand. Oh wait, he does have a which specialization is best portion though. That's interesting. So let's see what he has to say about that. This is Norza, who I actually have watched on multiple occasions. I'm surprised I'm not subscribed to him already. But the link is in the chat along with in the description if you want to check this out after the stream as well.
In Zero Company, you'll need to make your own hawks by picking between 8 specializations, each with their own unique ultimate, passives, and actions, plus other benefits. But on top of that, you'll also be able to create and hire your own custom operators.
Too many choices!
So which specializations is right for you and which are actually worthwhile?
Oh, this is the one you recommended, Wine Guide? Nice, okay.
Starting with the assault specialization, we're going to break down every single one, plus the
Here, hold on. We already watched a full breakdown, but I am curious. So which one do you feel like is best?
But out of all of these specializations we've gone through, which one should you make Hawks your playable character? Well,
what's up, Rain? Not sure if you caught it yet, but the lady that did the customization, you subscribed to her, but forgot to like the video. My bad. Hold up. Let me not do that. What was her name again? Is this her?
Nope, it can carry 3 different utility items, and later upgrades give them...
No, close that. What was the name of her channel again? Here, hold on. It would have been higher up. Is it you? It's you. Nope, not you. I've looked at so many videos today. It's not still this one. Would it be? Open link. Was it like Ruthless Night Sister or something?
You can
Why is it only coming up with these? Hold on. It was like Ruthless Night Sister, right? There we go. Ruthless Night Sister. There we are. Video. Character.
Star Wars Zero Company is...
I did not like it. Thank you for reminding me. It is like now. What's this first? And this. Excellent. Thank you. Awesome. Okay.
There's a couple of things to think about first. Firstly, Hawk does have a unique talent himself. It's called Fearless Leader.
Right.
So when Hawk is present, it will increase the assist damage of allies of all operators. Now, as you improve this talent, it will add Overwatch damage and a couple of other benefits as well. So what is the best specialization for Hawks? Well, it is a little bit up to you, though I do think you should have him be a specialization that isn't already covered by the other story operators, that being the Gunslinger, the Heavy, the Medic, or the Scout. All of those are pretty strong in their own way. Now, from my experience during the preview, I played my Hawks as a medic, which was quite useful, especially for the combat stim, less so the healing, though it did come into benefit. I also think that having a heavy in your party is such a good idea because of funneling that damage to that one character, getting those free retaliation shots back, protecting like your others with the taunts.
Right, so I feel like that reinforces what I said. I feel like I'm going to switch Trick from being a soldier to a heavy, because I do think it would be very beneficial to have one character who's kind of absorbing a lot of the damage that enemies do. But that means nobody is covering soldier, and I'm probably going to take it. I also feel like it's going to be irritating playing as a medic, but not really finding healing to be all that useful. Yep. Back to lurking, no problem.
Just a lot of benefits to it. And then I guess in a way, same with the Scout, right? Because the more advantage that you have, the more additional attacks that your allies can also get off with those
definitely want to have
ones. So definitely benefits to all of these. Personally, though, I would probably go with the Heavy or the Medic. However, regardless of the option you pick, you can always change Hawk's specialization back at the den anyway. So even if you've picked one you don't like, you can always change it and tinker with that until you find one that you do like. But do let me know in the comments what specialization you're making your Hawk, and any custom operators that you're making as well. Let me know that in the comments too. But thank you guys for watching this video till the end. Thank you to our members for supporting the channel. My name is Norza, and I hope you have a great day.
Okay. Yeah, his reasoning is definitely sound, but I want to change Trick. Yeah, I just feel like having taunt on him, it would be so useful. It's kind of odd to me, honestly, that they wouldn't start him in a way where you couldn't use that. But then I also need to get a feel for the game, because maybe it's a situation that just having him closer causes more enemies to target him anyway, at which point I might decide it makes more sense to switch him back over to a soldier, and it gives me freedom to do something else. But in fact, no, he specifically says that having a heavy is extremely useful. So that right off the bat kind of tells me that it's not the case. You really do want to have a tank that's pulling that damage in. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and set him up that way. I think that should work. Okay, last video, one more from Dantix. This is just a more general 27 things you did not know, tips and tricks and all that kind of stuff. Put in the links in the chat, and we will listen to what he has to say.
Played multiple runs of Star Wars Zero Company's 18-cycle preview build, and there are so many mechanics EA hasn't really shown yet. Some completely change how you approach combat. Others make this game feel more like a Star Wars RPG than Star Wars XCOM. So here are 27 things you probably don't know about Star Wars Zero Company, starting with my absolute favorites. Let's begin. Early on, you unlock the ability to make custom operatives. You simply need to buy any of them, be rewarded with one, and then go to the customization section. You can change everything from their talent to their specialization to the finer details of their sex, race, costume, name, bio, and more. Best of all, these operatives aren't left out. They banter with the squad, they have input in missions, and even have preferences to your choices, liking and disliking particular options. They're no less powerful than your authored characters, so build away if you want to roleplay.
Dilemmas arise when Hawks has to face an important decision. Every operator in Zero Company will weigh with their opinion on how to resolve the issue. Take care in your choices. Bonds between operators can change depending on the outcome. Huh. That's interesting. I'll see what I can do, Baptist.
Speaking of missing, yes, you can still miss at over 90%, and there's even an achievement for it.
Focus.
If you hate missing, there are a lot of ways to mitigate that, like the Sharpshooter's Ultimate. We've all seen the meme with the 65% chance to hit. Well, that doesn't happen in Zero Company. Up close, it's almost always a 100% chance to hit, removing a lot of frustration.
Okay. I like that.
So I've been testing out the new Vicha Pro 2 XR glasses, and I didn't expect to be using them nearly as much as I. In some missions, you can explore around beautiful Star Wars themed areas before jumping into combat. If you ever played Mario Rabbids, you know what to expect. Though there aren't any serious puzzles or things to collect, it breaks up combat segments with some world building, and it's extremely welcome.
Nice.
Let me guess. Gone.
There are 4 main blaster types, but they're highly customizable. As you play, you'll be rewarded with buy or unlock modifications for your weapons, as well as slots for these mods. Some are straightforward, like extra damage or chance to hit. Some change up gameplay, making your weapon set enemies on fire. You can also customize the look of your weapons within each category, and each different look also fires and sounds completely different. Here's 4 rifles I've selected different models for. Let's have a look how they sound in gameplay.
Weapon crafting is always welcome. I agree, Enjoiner. Those weapons look so cool. I'm looking forward to making a weapon that speaks to me. All right, that's a decent weapon for you. So yeah, give your repeater. Will do. My opinion, XCOM 2 didn't really have a story. It was such a
no doubt a lot of people will be disappointed that there's only 4 weapon types and say no shotgun. Well, there is a shotgun and many more weapon types. They're simply not counted as your main blaster and are equipped in a spare utility slot. Here's the scattergun. It costs 2 AP to fire and does huge damage in a cone.
Wow.
The banter in the game doesn't stop just because you're at the holo table or calculating your next turn.
I think I'm gonna get back into holo chess.
Operatives will talk with each other, taunt enemies, compliment
holo chess.
Operations are brief, non-combat assignments outside of the den focused on information gathering, acquiring loot, or just simply replenishing the den's modest treasury. To launch an operation, you must spend intel. Information is the currency of the field.
Operatives will talk with each other, taunt enemies, compliment or tease you. The universe feels alive.
Slimo! Good one, Hawks.
Speaking of, besides the fantastic music score and sound design, what also helps sell the fantasy is even though this is a turn-based game, enemies and operatives will passively shoot at each other, banter, dodge shots, and so on. Even though this doesn't affect gameplay, it's yet another thing that immerses you in the universe.
Oh, interesting. Oh, that is cool. That is cool. Interesting. That's awesome. Makes the battlefield feel more
Laid
alive.
around the maps are tools you can use to your advantage, like explosives. There are a few ways to do this, like using the sabotage talent, or getting line of sight and firing into them for a single action point. But nothing really beats the feeling you get when you lead an enemy into their ally's grenade. There are a lot of ways you can use the environment to your advantage, but the best way is to look for ledges or cliffs and use the many options you have to push enemies off to their doom. These are instant kills even for powerful enemies like the droidicars. Let's have a look at a few examples.
The explosions, battleground, and graphics in general look on point. Strongly agree. Strongly agree. All of this looks awesome. If gear also gives you new abilities, then I'm more confident in the mechanical complexity. Yeah, it definitely adds another layer, JV. You don't feel like the game has enough layers, though, for the mechanics that you've seen? You feel like it's lacking? That's so freaking cool. You know, actually, I just realized I wasn't thinking. If I'm going to be using the scout anyway, I should be pulling in a ton of advantage. And so if I just use a little bit for myself to throw off to fire a rocket launcher, and then just give the rest to the Mandalorian, well, you know what? No. Because I would use a little for myself with a rocket launcher, but then I would also want Trick to be able to taunt. That would be important to me. I don't know. I'm going to have to try it out. Maybe Clyde will end up being my main person. Because honestly, I think I just love the way it looks when Clyde flies up into the air, just lands down like that. And I like the look of that even more, frankly, than I like Uppercut, even though Uppercut is super awesome as well. I kind of want Clyde, Trick, Jay, and myself to be like that main four. The only other thing that gives me reservation on this, they keep highlighting that Trick and the Separatist guy, those two will have a very, very unique relationship, right? And you'll see that grow and develop over time. I wonder if it's going to feel equally impactful with different combinations, or if there are characters who you really, really need to have these people together, because when they're separate, the banter and the interaction just isn't nearly as good, and it feels much better when they have a bond. I don't know. We'll see. As a longtime Taxes player, I can't get over how good this looks and the quality of life enhancements. Yeah, I think it looks awesome. No, not just the class. It fell short of XCOM in that matter, but the gear adding stuff feels great. Nice. The entire game makes sense because of the story they set up. Each new threat seems like it's explained by the character. Oh, you're talking about XCOM 2, Rob? Yeah. I'm a bit sad we can't be a Wookiee or General Grievous type droid. I don't think there's been a game yet where they let us play as a Wookiee, right? At least not for the full game. I don't think one scout will be able to keep up with all heavy advantage use you are thinking. Yeah, you might be right. The characters felt very heavy on passives and not on actives, but if you can have a whole gun as the secondary gear there, I'm into it. Nice. I need Jawa Gunslinger. Yeah, should have a Wookiee. Maybe they'll add that as DLC. We'll see. Yeah, unfortunately, you might be right, Wine Guide. But also, maybe I won't feel like I need Taunt or even Rocket Launcher every time. We'll see. We'll see. I think I'm going to start out trying to have Clyde in my A squad, because I really love Mandalorians, and I really love that they let her use her jetpack. And I assume, can everybody throw grenades? I don't feel like we went over inventory at all, but I assume everybody could throw grenades, which means she can navigate to the very best spot for her to throw a grenade from if she wanted to. Trick and Luco are going to have a Gimli and Legolas rivalry friendship. I'm calling it. You might be right.
Fisting gutty abacati!
Ta-da! Everyone can throw grenades if they have them. Nice. Nice, nice, nice. Ooh, that electricity does not look cool.
Not everything is all about combat. Spend the influence you earn on combat missions on operations for various rewards, like I hinted at before. Take a look at this operation. It has 3 choices, giving you different rewards or penalties based on success or failure. Here we have the same job, yet one gave an exotic item and the next time I did it, I didn't get the item. Who you assign plays a role, and I have a suspicion is to do with their talent, as the one that got the reward had the espionage talent. A lot of XCOM was about controlling the chaos, and ZCOM is no different. In a lot of cases, you won't have enough influence to do every single operation or enough time to go on every mission. Sometimes
that's legit, JV. Ultimate should feel like ultimate abilities. I don't agree. Some crises require direct action. Crisis missions require you to deploy a squad to prevent your foes from becoming stronger. Choose carefully. The effect to which you don't respond will be permanently applied. That definitely has strong XCOM vibes.
A crisis will pop up, giving you a choice of 2 bad outcomes, both of which are an upgrade to your enemies most of the time. In this case, you'll have to pick if you prefer the Coil Striker units to get access to impact bombs, or not be able to be interrupted by Overwatch. You have to pick what is least likely to affect your current operators, which is the lesser of 2 evils. Through my multiple demo playthroughs, I found that these crisis missions are not always the same choice. It seems a little randomized, so I hope you don't face something impossible to choose between.
Let's see.
Yep.
Besides crisis missions and operations, you also have dilemmas, where you have to make a choice that some may like, some may not care about, or some may hate. Gaining or losing bond accordingly. Now remember, you need to raise your bond in order to do joint training between your operators, which essentially raises their stats. And this is the only way you can raise their stats. But I digress. In the dilemmas,
he said, remember, like, hey, everybody knows this. I did not know this at all. Good Lord. Okay. At the Play Oxford 2, there haven't been many games quite on that level. I certainly don't feel like I've played a lot of games on that level. Hope they don't go overboard with timers and infinite hordes. We'll see.
The biggest rewards often make the most enemies. You'll notice, like I said, that the custom characters also have opinions here.
Right.
They probably just put it back on his old desk without pay. It's a classic trade-fed move.
If you can't flank an enemy around their cover, you can destroy their cover. Well, most cover at least. If you miss an attack against an enemy behind destroyable cover, the constellation prize is that cover will start breaking.
Open fire!
Constellation prize. Nice.
Fire!
Or you can simply use an
Just like XCOM, I love the way you can throw a grenade into a wall and give yourself another entry point. So it seems like destructible environments are a big deal
explosive.
here as well.
Once the enemies are exposed, they're easy pickings. Take a look.
Good Lord. Being on fire just cannot possibly be fun. Ooh, hit that to the face.
Now you might be thinking
Really
about
liking the hidden
difficulty.
depth of
On
all the
normal mode,
sisters?
you feel challenged, but you can still feel like a badass. One difficulty up, and things start getting very challenging. One difficulty up to that, to expert mode, and the Sabak deck starts feeling stacked against you. Expert mode is not there for fun, it's there to really test your patience, so absolutely don't pick this for your first run. You'll need to know what to expect to get through expert mode, and the game has a lot of surprises.
That's teamwork.
I think this game is going to have a lot of replay value as well.
There's ion grenades and mods, and they pop droids like you'd expect, rendering the survivors unable to attack. So this is one such example of loading yourself out correctly before a mission if you have the right intel before you set off.
Adequate, I suppose.
I go through this more in my specialization and
nice.
talent breakdown video, but you can freely change your specializations at the den, as well as freely move focus points around. This lets you experiment and fine-tune your team without feeling like you're completely screwed when you make a mistake or lose an operative, since a lot of the rest of the game isn't so forgiving. This also means you don't need to save up focus points. Use them where you can, and then take them out and reassign them when you have enough for the big things you wanted. You'll be tempted to open most fights by throwing your grenades and thinning out the herd. Sometimes it's better to be patient. You can actually herd the droids in like clankers to the slaughter using taunts or exposed operators. Then launch off your grenades or droid poppers and take a massive group out at once, which is extremely satisfying.
Sure.
Target's down.
Heavies in XCOM with their MVPs, Grenadiers for the ability to destroy walls. Yeah, very nice, very nice. I don't feel like I've heard of droid poppers before, but I assume they're like ion grenades. I didn't notice in other videos. I wonder if the gun customization, we can also change the blaster shot colors. That's an interesting question. I haven't seen that option, so I would say no, but maybe we can. I'm loving how deep into Star Wars lore this game is going all the way. I've seen one mini boss so far in a gameplay video. That heavy mech that rolls and has a shield. Oh, really? Oh, that's super cool. I'm sure that was an interesting fight.
If you have permadeath turned on, which I recommend you do, then every time an operative drops to 0 HP, they gain an injury. 3 injuries and they're dead for good. Even if you play like a madman, never dropping in combat, operatives can still gain injuries from non-combat missions called operations. See here, Uppercut gained an injury attempting to contact a clone named Sawtooth. When you get an injury, you have 3 options. First, let it be and just accept the lower accuracy in combat. 2, you can let them heal at the medbay. By paying some credits, the next time you're back at the den, they'll be healed. Or third, you can pay a higher rate and heal them in the back to tank, which is instant, so they'll be combat ready right away. Explosions in this game look and sound amazing, especially against the B1 battle droids. You have a range of grenades to choose from, and the Soldier Specialization's ultimate ability is an absolute showstopper. Let's take a look at some examples now.
That's a perfect time to use it. Boom!
My brothers, for the Republic.
Nice. What's up, Anchorman? I think I saw that changing the designs changes the firing pattern and color. That's awesome. Hey, man, I watched a lot of your Road Trader videos. Good stuff. Hey, that's awesome. I'm glad to hear it, dude. Glad you found the content useful. I definitely want to be
Your hub in Star Wars Zero Company is not just a menu like it was in XCOM. You explore around, talk to your crew, both authored and non-authored. They will banter with each other and sometimes give you missions. Think Marvel Midnight Suns. It's nice having a place to return to and watch grow as you invest in new buildings, like the lounge here, which after built provides a cantina in the den for your operatives that aren't on missions to relax for some bonus bond points. When talking to your crew in the den, sometimes you'll need to make choices, and these will either raise your bond with them or even lower them in some cases.
To be at his best after something like that. I know I wasn't.
Well, that wasn't his fault. And Antine wasn't yours. Good soldiers follow orders.
One improvement I very much appreciate is that it's no longer required for you to use an action point to evacuate. Once the mission evac zone shows up, you simply need to get all your operatives into the zone to end the mission. Much less tedious, and they can still provide support.
Nice.
Each turn, one of your operatives will be able to call for assistance. The target you choose to assist will gain bond with the operative calling for the assist. Then the next target the operator attacks, the other who was called for assisting will attack as well. Leading to some powerful combos, especially if the operator in question has a bonus to assisting. It seems like the assisted shot also doesn't miss, so you can set this up to ensure a particular enemy dies.
Yeah, those shots don't
Planets
look like
across
they're
the galaxy map are broken up into regions. As you make choices, you may or may not earn.
By the way, if you like this game in XCOM, you should check out Gears Tactics 2. Great title to play also. Interesting. I don't think I've ever even seen a trailer for Gears Tactics, but you're the second person who's mentioned it to me. Nice. Regional influence. Completing operations and tactical missions will award influence within the respective zone. Gain enough influence and you unlock a zone reward. Zone rewards can be
influence in them. The higher influence goes, the more powerful the rewards. Unique
cool
to each
way to
region.
build bombs.
I tried my hand at raising zone gen up as fast as I could, and you could more or less target what region you want to go for. Taking missions in that region is the biggest boon to this, besides placing contacts you earn directly into a region for bonus influence. So this is another way that each run will be different. Build the droid repair bay as soon as you can to unlock astromechs. They're powerful in combat, able to carry more utilities like grenades than any other specialization, and most importantly, because they don't have weapons, they can grant others action points. Even if you won't use an astromech, building the droid repair bay will get you 3 free utilities for you to put on your other characters when you get that free astromech, meaning you can fully equip your squad with utilities without spending a credit. Overwatch is back, and of course it is, it's a staple in every XCOM game. Though this time, it's far less required. You won't find yourself moving up one step and overwatching every turn. Instead, it's better using it when you don't have a clear shot already, or when you're invested into the powerful sharpshooter specialization. Without investment, you're going to have the standard accuracy, and even B1s may be able to sprint past you.
Nice. Anchorman, you said you follow me over on Twitch, dude. Y'all are getting hit up.
Not today.
Not sure how I feel about Droidica being mini boss.
Nailed one.
Yeah, this was set up very nicely.
Every operative gets their own talent, but Cab Uppercut's signature talent is, well, his uppercut. What's great about it is it refunds all the action points that you use to execute the attack if you kill the target.
Right.
So if it took 2 action points to reach the target, I'm getting 2 back, essentially making it so Uppercut can move around the map easily as long as there's fresh meat for him to consume.
No problem, Anchorman. Have a good night. Appreciate you checking in, dude.
Jay also has an interesting talent. She can pick off injured targets once a turn, and it shocks me every time it happens. Talents are really useful, so make sure to take a look before picking your operative.
Yep, I'm definitely a fan of her. Execute.
The combat sections in this game aren't a puzzle, wherein you're not trying to work out a solution with the tools that slot in together. You're more managing to get through the best you can with the tools you brought with you. However, sometimes you play so damn perfectly that you feel like an absolute god. Check out this perfect run. It looks easy, but one change to how I did things would have made this turn out very differently.
Nice shooting.
Oh, I was a big fan of Jagged Alliance 3. Damn. Okay, the droids are actually pretty freaking useful. Being able to have access to all those grenades is really, really nice. That right there is right, Droidica. Don't feel like mini bosses to you? Maybe it'll make sense in the context of the game.
So long. On target.
Bigger version of the one they just destroyed. R2-D2 is low-key the MVP of the whole Star Wars. Story is there but bland, but the mercs act like Jagged Alliance 3 when they're on the team together. Nice. Jay is all about her kills still, and I don't blame her.
Here.
Thank you.
What did he just give her? Oh, she got 1 additional action point. Very nice. She knows exactly what to do.
Those were 27 things I think make Zero Company stand out, and honestly, there are still plenty more I haven't covered. If you're planning on picking the game up, let me know which features surprise you the most, and if there's anything you'd like me to break down next. I've got tons more guides and gameplay deep dives coming closer to launch, so I appreciate any love you can give. As always, thank you so much for watching, and until next time,
highly recommend
ciao friends.
Subscribing to Dantix. He always does great work. Super cool. I am glad that I ran through these videos. This gave me the information that I need. So yeah, I think my main character is going to be a heavy, and then I'm going to have Trick. I'm sorry, my main character is going to be a soldier. I have Trick as a heavy. I have Jay as a scout, and then I think the last slot is going to kind of be up for grabs. Probably using uppercut at first, because I think Clyde doesn't come along until later anyway. And then once Clyde does come along, I'll make a judgment call about whether or not I'm actually gaining enough advantage that it makes sense to throw her in there, because she'll be able to use her moves on a regular basis. But anyway, that's something we will figure out on Thursday. Again, I'll look into tomorrow. I'll look into whether or not I'm able to get Thursday off. I would hope that I go ahead and be able to stream the game in the morning whenever it drops. I'll definitely release a message on YouTube if that is the case. I am not going to be able to stream tomorrow evening, but I do plan to jump right back in on Wednesday. So either we will continue our run in XCOM 2, or if I feel like there's been a lot of crazy things happening from a Gamescom perspective, it might just be a day where I walk through like trailers and gaming news and all that kind of stuff. But anyway, that's it for today's stream. I hope all of you enjoyed today's stream, and I will see you in the next one. Take care. Definitely giving the Mando a shotgun. Absolutely. Me too. My pleasure, Ravi. Take care. Have a good night, Wine Guide. Night, Anchorman. You all take care. Appreciate you all stopping through. Night, Jovi. Night, XC. Take care, Arshan. Night, Tony. Night, Boom. You all have a good one. Night, Keck. Always good to see you, man. Night, CJ. Night, JV. Night, Rob. You all have a good evening.